Hey guys, how's it going? Let me finish setting up this room real quick and then we can get started. So there's a couple scalps that were available this morning. I marked a couple up right here and I'm technically in one right now. I was trying to get out before market open, but it looks like market is about to open in about a minute. So I might have to just hang on to that and see how it plays out. So let me finish setting up this room real quick and we should be good to go, guys. March 17th already. Market's open. Let's see how this thing's spiking up right now. Yeah, we'll see how this ends up moving. That's why I usually don't like to enter trades, right before market open because we have this big spike right here at 6:30. So we'll see how it plays out. I feel like it's going to swing back up because market sentiment's kind of on the low end. Let's see. Yeah, market sentiment is still on the short side. So we'll see how it swings up. It's probably going to swing down and swing right back up. But we'll follow it and see how it plays out. It's going to spike around a lot within the next 10 minutes. This whole candle and the next candle is probably going to spike around a lot. And then we'll see how it plays out from there. So hopefully none of you guys are in this position, because if you guys are in a buy right now or even in a sell, you're probably like freaking out because it's moving so fast. This is generally why we don't advise taking trades on market open, and we usually wait for maybe like an hour or so before entering trades. But we'll see if it ends up swinging back up or not. I think most of you guys are in some buys, right? Because we still have the daily entry running from yesterday. Like market barely moved yesterday, so you can see here it just went sideways. And it's still technically active. You guys have the daily entry open from yesterday. So I think it's going to continue pushing up. So we'll see. You guys can see the huge candle right here, right? So this one candle dropped, then it shoots right back up. So that's why I'm not too worried about it. Damn, that thing spiked up heavy. Look at this. Oh yeah, where's the thing at? Look at that huge wick right there. How big of a drop was that? That was like 300 to 400 pips right there off that one candle. But we'll see. We'll see how it plays out. Let me just finish setting up this room again, and then we should be good to go. So let me just pull this up right here. Let me send this link out to you guys in the group because I don't think everyone has it yet. So we got this right here. Let's see, live. Let me send it out to you guys here. That's weird. Yeah, I don't know why it just looks like that. Anyways, let me just send it over to you guys anyways. It's all good. All right, cool. So that's good right there. Let me send this out to the other social media pages, and then we should be good to go. Facebook and the email list. That's where the link looks like fine now on this other link, but see if the link's the same one. Yeah, the link looks fine. It's weird. I'm just looking at the thumbnail because the thumbnail changed from like the other link to this link. It's like the thumbnail's it's not important. All right, let me get this on the Facebook real quick. And then let me just send it to our Instagram and we should be good to go, guys. So today is FOMC, guys. So I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with the news, but today the Fed speaking, it's like their monthly announcement that they have. They announced like their outlook for the market, for the rest of the month. So it's probably going to affect the market pretty heavy. So once we get closer to FOMC, which is in about let me check the clock, 6:34 right now. It's in about in about 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, in about 5 hours. So in about 4 or 5 hours, the FOMC is going to be announced. So around that time, or like slightly before, maybe an hour before, we're probably going to stop trading. And the reason for that is because we're going to see a lot of manipulation in the market as price reacts to that news event. So we'll try to lock in some scalps in between then, so that we can, lock in some trades from now and then. But we're probably going to take it easy today for the most part, because it's just too risky to be trading during FOMC, because it's going to directly affect the market, obviously, for like Forex and for indices. So I got this posted up on the Instagram. I think we're good to go now. All right, everything's good here. All right, let's get started. So look at that huge candle right there, guys. That we're still in the opening candle right now. See how it's spiking around so much? If you go on the 1 minute, it's even crazier. Check this out. It's going back and forth like 600 pips. Nearly 600 pips. It's going to swing all the way up here, I believe. It's just going to fill this whole gap. We'll see how it plays out. I do have a position running off that right now. This was from earlier today, because I was trying to get in earlier. Actually, I got in earlier at this one down here. So I'm technically like slightly in profit right now, but I was marking this up for whoever got the latest entry, because before market open, this would be the latest one right here. So I was just marking it up for whoever was entering that. Actually, let me see. It's a little lower right there. All right, cool. So let me just pull up the chat. I think we're good to go, and then we'll get started. Yeah, let me get you guys a Zoom link for the premium members real quick too. So get that over to you guys. There's a Zoom link for you guys there. And let me just get this as well. Hook up Olu as well. Let's see. Charts are all over the place right now. All right, cool. So it's back in profit. So this is what I was talking about earlier, guys. Don't worry about it swinging around so much, because it was going to swing back just like I mentioned, right? It's just that opening candle that's kind of screwed up, and then it ends up balancing out. So I wasn't too worried about anything. I was just chilling out, waiting for it to smoothen out. So we'll see how it plays out. But anyways, let me just finish. Give me access to Olu real quick. Should be good to go. So it's just a game of patience, guys. It's a game of patience. Don't if you know a position is good, like, don't freak out. Just hold on to it and let it play out. I mean, if it hits stop loss, it's stop loss, But the thing is, like, you guys can't get caught up in like the market manipulation on market open, because it happens. You guys have to know that it happens. Have to understand why it happens and how it happens, and that you guys should probably just skip trades during that time. But if you guys are stuck in a trade and it's a good trade, I would just hang on to it, like this right here. Some people are in this trade right here, and if you hung on to it, you'd be back in profit. If you got scared, you would have closed out right here, right? So that's what I mean about you guys having thick skin when you guys trade. You guys have to understand that the market just moves like that. All right, so it looks good for the most part. Let's see if it hits our TP for the daily entry. We're still in that daily entry right here, so it's about to hit TP for that right there. and then we'll keep riding it, see how it plays out. All right, so let me just close this right here. Yeah, and I'm in this position from down here, so I'm actually past my TP already, or no, I'm almost there. It's almost at full TP because I entered the first one right here, so I'm almost at the full TP. But I'll probably keep riding it because it's probably gonna hit the it's probably gonna hit this TP right here. So let me show you guys. I'm in profit about 1,300 right now. Show you guys my account. Here we go. So see my account right here. I'm in this trade right here. I'm in profit 1,600, 1,700 right now. So I'm in this position. Like whenever I tell you guys I'm in a position, I'm actually in it. Oh crap, it's gonna hit my TP. I don't know if I should just take off my TP right now, or should I just close it out? I'm just gonna close it out for now, and I'll just re-enter another one. So there we go. So for this week, it's been a pretty good week so far. So I'll just show you guys the profits for this week since like from Monday up until now. I'm just going to show you guys all the trades that I took live with you guys from Monday till now. My account's doing pretty nice for the most part. I closed out already in profit, guys, for that one. So I'll show you real quick. I don't have any losses from Monday till now. So this is the win from yesterday. I made 922. The second win, 1,295. The third win, 845. These small little scalps here for the daily entry. I had 117, 249, and then right now I just locked in 1,292. So for this week, I'm doing pretty well. I'm not doing bad at all. So 922.50 plus into sorry, let me fix that. I should have held on to it, but it's all good. The market was just moving around too crazy right now. So I'll re-enter at a later point, but I was just trying to get out during this whole manipulated move right here. Damn, what's wrong with my thing? Oh, sorry guys. People keep trying to enter the Zoom. So let me just finish adding this. 922.50 plus 1295 plus 845 plus 117 plus 249 plus 1292 plus 50. All right, so I'm in profit about 4,721 on this account. And then for the other account, the 100K funded, it's half of this, so divided by 2. So 2,360 on the other account. So that plus this one, 4,721 plus 4,721, total of like 7,000 for this week, for just from Monday till now. So you guys can see the date right here, from 3/16 up until that trade this morning, 3/17. That's where I'm sitting right now for the most part. So not too bad, guys. Not too bad at all. So let me go back to the chat real quick. Let me see. Oh, it actually hit TP1 for the daily entry. All right, so let me just send this alert real quick to you guys. I mean the update, not alert. Let me set the update to you guys over here. And if it didn't hit for you guys, because it literally just tapped it, if it didn't hit for you guys, it's probably going to push back up and hit it anyways. Let me just give you guys the update here. Let's see this real quick. Guys, so if you guys send me a message or an email last night, I haven't gotten to any of the messages yet. So I will get to you guys soon after this live session. Just get this real quick. So I'm in profit pretty nice. Like just the first 10 minutes of the market, I'm in profit about 1,300, which is not bad at all. I'm hoping to catch some more. So we'll keep going with this. And damn, this thing finally hit TP. Like this thing was holding for a long time. All right, cool. So I think we're good with that for now. Let me go back to the chat real quick. Let's see. All right, so let me scroll up. Hey, morning, Peter. Morning, Short Scene. Morning, Neptune. Morning, Anthony. Morning, John. Morning, Patricia. Morning, Matt. Morning, Sneaks. Morning, Jeremy. Morning, City. Morning, Marcus. Morning, Funky. Morning, Camo. Morning, Vishnu. Morning, Manuel. Morning, Trell. Morning, Eunice. Morning, Gwen. Morning, everybody. So hopefully everyone had a great week so far. Just looking at everyone's profits, like yesterday was a heavy profit day. Let me just check real quick. So yeah, I posted everyone's profits yesterday. You know, it's a heavy profit day when I send profits twice, right? So like, for example, in the morning, we had the AM profits, right? So like everyone's profits right here in the morning. This was like my profits. This is how you know everyone was killing it like all day on Monday. So your CT's profits, these are like the profits from the morning. And then again, later tonight, I sent another set of profits. So you guys can see how many profits. There's a lot of profits for one day. And then again, so this is like the last one. And then again, we sent the video of all the profits right here. So I generally share everyone's profits. These were the morning profits. And then again, later tonight, there was like another set right here. Like Harmony made in like 1,300. Henry made like, what do you made? 4,000 for the day. So, and Henry's trading all these other things. He's trading gold. He's trading US 30, the DAX 30. So he's trading more than what I'm calling here on these sessions. You know, Steven over here, he made 1,500 almost. And then Billy again, he made 600 off his account too. So nice work for everyone. There's the TP for the official TP for the daily entry right there. You can see it just broke right through it. It's going to probably push up to the next full TP. So, you know, with that said, here goes your guys' horns. It's been kind of slow for the most part the past 2 weeks, so we haven't been able to blow the horns as much. But there goes another TP for you guys right there. Yeah, I mean, it was pretty good heavy profit week yesterday. And I told you guys, right? So the beginning of the what's it called? Of the session, we sorry man, I forgot my train of thought. I forgot what I was even talking about right now because I was reading the message over here. Let's see, William said, Katie, can you send the Zoom link first before you send the YouTube link? I almost lost money because of bad connection from YouTube. I entered the US 30. William, that trade was sent like I posted it in the group. Let me check real quick. I shared it with you guys like almost an hour ago. So I don't know if you missed it, but like at 6 o'clock, I sent the trade right here already, William. So I'm not sure if you missed it. I mean, you got to pay attention if you're trying to figure it out. Like the trades that I took, I said I was backing the scalp about an hour ago. So everyone already knew about this trade earlier. And if you really want to learn it, you should just learn the strategy. You don't have to depend on me calling trades, right? So it was more of a privilege that you got to catch that trade, not that like I'm required to give you guys these scalp trades. But anyways, so let me go back to the chat real quick because I didn't even give you guys this trade here, William. Like I don't know if you thought I called this, but I didn't call it on the live on the session. But yeah, anyways, I think there's just confusion there because William thought that I called this trade, but I didn't. This trade was already called like yesterday. This trade was called it's called about 23 hours ago. So you had to be in yesterday's session to catch this trade right here. And for the scalp over here, this scalp happened an hour ago. So even if you got into this session at the right time, you still would have missed it because it was already in profit. Anyways, so let me go back to all right, let me see. Yeah, Zephyr said he thinks it's going to reach the all-time high. I think it's going to reach the all-time high as well too, which is going to be up here. So it looks good for the most part. I mean, there's a bunch of scalps here. So if you guys see all the scalps that I was talking about this morning, there was one right here. So for example, there's one right here. There's like 6 entries right here that were available. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 actually. So there's 7 entries that were available here. If you took any of these buy scalps, like any of them, literally any of them, you would hit full TP. That full TP, that full TP, that full TP. This one, I don't know if this. Oh, no, actually, that's not an entry. So full TP there, 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 and another one right here. It's technically still running. So there's a couple other entries that are still running right now. off this one, but I wouldn't take this one right here. It's just too risky. I'd wait for another one to appear before we end up catching another one of these. All right, so let's see if there's anything else over here as we continue. Yeah, John said if we go past the ATH, usually another 2 or 2.5%. Yeah, no, definitely. Yeah, so you guys are good. Anyways, let me go back through the chat. I'm probably not going to answer too many questions right now. I'm just going to be focused on scalping. So if you guys have questions, you guys can put them in the chat, but I'm probably not going to get to them until later today, until we reach like a slow market. Because right now the market's too fast for me to really be focused on your guys' questions. So let me just scroll down real quick. Short Scene said, I have a question for you, Shawn. Which broker is good for Forex? In which low spread, low commission, looking for 25K deposit, trustworthy broker? I would recommend Forex.com. I mean, that's the only one that I can really recommend if you're looking for something that's because you're saying trustworthy, right? If you're worried about a trustworthy broker, then you should use a US regulated broker like Forex.com. You shouldn't even bother looking at any unregulated brokers. I mean, if you're making a 25K deposit, you should be trading with a real broker. You shouldn't be really too worried about leverage or anything like that. Because I mean, the only reason people use unregulated brokers is so they can leverage like bigger positions. But if you have that much deposit, you can use a regulated broker. Let's see anything else here. Yeah, Zoom link is sent out. Let's see. Jeremy's asking, is this trade active? Yeah, well, I'm not sure which one you're referring to, Jeremy, but there was a lot of trades here that were active, that were available, like all of these down here. So they were all active at the time we went live, but you would have to have the, obviously you'd have to have the indicators to find it yourself, because I didn't call any of these trades. The only one that I gave to you guys was the one that I took right here. Where did I post it over here? Yeah, so the only one I posted here was this one where I said I was in a buy scalp in the direction of yesterday's daily entry, which was this red candle right here. So I was in that one right there. If you guys wanted to hop into that one, that was the only one that I shared with you guys. But there was, there's multiple entries. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 entries that were available here, depending on which one you guys wanted to take. But I don't take this opening candle right here. So that's why I skipped it. I'll just wait for it to come back down, provide another buy entry right here, and then I'll take that. But other than that, I didn't take any of these other trades here. So I'm just waiting for another entry. When I do see it, I'll let you guys know, and you guys will see it, and then you guys can copy it as we go. Marcus said, okay. I'm just gonna skip some of your questions here because Marcus is asking what the TP was, but I already hit TP off that. The TP for that was over here. It was off this red candle right here. So the TP for that was 32,940, but it already hit off this candle right here, the big candle. All right, so let's see what else we got down here. Kendra said, can I get the premium chat channel? This is the one in my email. Kendra, just message me on Telegram or something. I'm busy trading right now, so I'm probably not going to be able to get to you. But if you message me, I can probably check. Or actually, I see your message right here. You're asking about the session. Let's see. You want the premium chat link. Here, let me check your stuff real quick, Kendra. All right, let me get over to you real quick. I'm gonna keep watching for these trades right here. I'm gonna try to answer whatever questions I can right now, all these basic questions that are coming in, but I'm gonna set an alert here to, let me know when price touches the pivot. So we got 6 minutes. It's okay. It's okay. I got some time to answer the rest of these questions before we. Here's Kendra. I'm gonna message you on Telegram. Yeah, so I'll check the schedule after the live session, Kendra, and I'll get back to you after we're done here. So I'm being more focused on my scalps right now. All right, anyways, let me go through here real quick. Nice. Camo City locked out that buy position for 536. So nice work off that, Camo. You're halfway to your $1,000 profit for the day. Definitely. Let me scroll over real quick, see what else we're missing over here. Eunice said, did the K2 signal show up for today? Not yet, because the market just opened, Eunice. So the market just opened, and we haven't had a signal yet for it. The signal's from yesterday. So this is still running from yesterday. Market open right here at 6:30. So at this point right here, there's no signal that's happened after that. So there's nothing at that point. But this one's running from yesterday, same active position. All right, looks like price touched the pivot. So we'll see how this candle closes off the next 4 minutes. If this candle closes and we have the rejection off the pivot and structure right here, then we'll take another scalp upwards in this direction. So you guys will know what to look out for. We're looking for a buy here, but we'll have to wait and see how this candle closes. We have about 4 minutes left. So I'll be looking at this, for the most part right now, up until it closes, just to see if we have an entry. And if we don't have an entry, then I'll look at the other indices. But for now, this is our main focus right now. The next 4 minutes will determine whether we take a scalp here or not. So just be ready, guys, for when I call the trade. If you guys are in the YouTube, you're probably gonna have the delayed version of this. If you guys are on the premium, you guys have the Zoom link, you guys will know what's going on. So just hang tight. We got 4 minutes left. Let's see if there's anything else here. Marcus said I never got out before you. I got out before you. Nice. Okay, so Marcus actually got out earlier. So just going back to what I was showing you guys earlier, these are my profits for the week so far from Monday till now. If you guys sat in on the live session yesterday, I gave all you guys these trades for free here on the live session. And you guys saw that I took all these trades live, and this is pretty much, all the trades for this week so far. It's been a great week so far, guys. I'm hoping that they keeps pushing. It's we had a slow week last week, so I'm ready to bounce back from that slow week and not recover, but recoup a lot of the profits that we generally make daily this week, so that we can cover last week's slow trading week. So I've been doing good so far. I'm sure all of you guys are too, because you guys have been sending me your profits. If you guys have other profits that you guys want to share, just send them over to me and I'll save them in our saved messages here. Because let's see, from last night, yeah, everyone sent me the profits from last night. Steven locked in about 352 off the Forex trades I called. So people take my Forex trades, they profit off that. Steven over here takes the US 30 trades, profit off that. I mean, this is really a cash cow, bro. Like literally everyone here is just killing it. So it's been a great week overall for everyone else. Hopefully everyone's doing well. If you guys aren't profitable this week so far, I mean, you guys might be doing something wrong. So maybe reach out in the chat to someone in the group or to myself, and we can probably see what you're doing wrong. Because like looking at everyone's profits here, like I don't see anyone here that's in the negative. Everyone who sent me profits are like heavily in the profit for this week. Like this is great. This is great consistency right here. Sid has like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 wins right here. And I think these are like probably taking my scalp. 17 wins, just copying my scalps, and only 2 losses here for some minimal losses. So great work off that, Sid. But yeah, if you guys are negative for the week, I mean, you might be doing something wrong, because all the trades we call this world that I call this week are all, positive. I don't have any losses this week yet. So, I mean, if that's the case, maybe reach out to the group so we can help you, improve or figure out what you're doing wrong, so that you can be in the same boat as everyone else. So we got about a minute left on this candle. As you can see, price is still pushing down farther and farther. So we'll see where this ends up closing out. This is starting to look like a risky candle. The reason for that is because this big bullish candle right here, generally when this big bullish move happens, price will do one of two things. It'll either correct back down to where it originally was, so like around here, it'll correct back down and then it'll keep dropping. Or what usually happens is it just keeps pushing up higher and higher. But right here, it looks like it's correcting back down. So this might be a drop. We might not be looking for a buy here. We'll have to wait and see how this, how this ends up playing out. But we got about a minute left on this candle. We'll see how it plays out. I'll see if it closes on this right here. So we're looking for that rejection right here. Let me just go back. Yeah, we're looking for the rejection right here off the pivot. So if this rejects off the pivot, this might provide for another scalp. If this ends up closing as a scalp, we're probably going to, I'm going to take like a smaller position size so that, you know, I can mitigate my risk properly in case this becomes a risky move here. So let's see, we got about 20 seconds left on this candle. I got my FTMO ready over here for a buy. Let's see, we got about 10 seconds left. I wanted to close above this green pivot. That's going to be ideal. So we got about 3 seconds left. No. Yeah, there's no entry there, guys. Yeah, there's technically no entry here because the reason for that is that this pivot is not touching the wick. Yeah, it's close, but it's not close enough. It's like literally right above it. So I'm not taking this trade right here, guys. It's too risky. I'm gonna wait for this next candle right here because we need this pivot to touch this wick, and it's not touching the wick, so there's no entry there. And this is why we don't take it, because look how it's dropping down now. So we'll see how this plays out. Well, let's wait for the next one, and then we will, you know, we'll continue on with this. Nice, nice. So it looks like Lee took that little quick scalp that I called right there for that buy. So Lee made about 201 off that trade. Nice scalp off that. Save that message for you guys there as well. Index trader as well here. You know, 10,000 for the week. So yeah, dude's been doing good for the most part. All right, cool. So yeah, this is why we don't take that trade, right? See this big drop right here? There's no entry there, so we wouldn't have taken that buy. Hopefully you guys followed along, didn't take that buy either, because if you guys hopped in too early, you know, you probably would have gotten burnt out off that. So let me just, yeah, what's up, Jaime? How's it going, bro? Ranko's asking, you trade FOMC? No, I don't. I don't trade any news events, Ranko. FOMC is not for another 3 hours. So we're gonna try to catch some scalps from now until then, but we're not necessarily taking any of those during that specific time. Let's see. Trell said pending sell on the daily. Yeah, so there's a pending sell right here, guys, for the daily entry. We'll see how this closes, you know, in the next 7 minutes. I think this would be a risky sell entry. I don't know if I would call this, but we'll see how it plays out because we have FOMC in about 3 hours. Wait, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Yeah, in about 4 hours actually. So in about 3 to 4 hours, we have FOMC coming up. If you guys aren't familiar with FOMC, it's the Fed speaking, basically the U.S. Treasury. They're going to be discussing, you know, the economic outlook for the month. So if you look at the news right here, we have the Wednesday news right here at 7:30. We have crude oil inventory news, which it's probably not going to affect the market that much directly, specifically the US 30 market. But over here, we have FOMC at 11 a.m. So probably around like 9 to 10, we're probably going to stop trading. And then we're going to take a break until Asia session, because this is it's definitely going to affect the market directly. So I'd be careful once you reach this point right here, 11 a.m. That's where it's going to get risky. But anyways, just looking at this here on US 30, no more entries available at this time. And we'll see, you know, how everything plays out. Yeah, Kel just mentioned 75% of people are short off US 30. So let's check out the sentiment real quick. Yeah, it looks like it's bouncing between 75 and 74%. So just looking at that there, I probably wouldn't want to take a sell. Reason for that is because majority of retail traders fail at trading, right? So you don't want to trade where everyone else is trading. You want to do the opposite of them, because that's what the institutions are doing. Institutions are doing the opposite of what majority of retail traders are doing, and that's how they make their money. So anyways, going back to the DAX, looks even, oh no, not the DAX, yeah, you're right, Kel. So it's 75% short, 25% long. So we'll see how this ends up playing out. If this closes out with that sell signal, I don't think I'm going to call it. specifically for the reason that the sentiment's so high for a short. I think they're going to keep pushing price up. It might reach the all-time high, but we'll follow it and see how it plays out. I'm not going to take the daily entry, but I'll probably take some scalps along the way because the daily entry would just be too risky for us there. Looks like it's ranging within the zone now, just bouncing back and forth. So we'll see how that plays out. This is going to be a conflict right here because there's going to be another. Oh, never mind. If it breaks below, there's not going to be an entry right here. It's probably going to it's going to come down, swing up from this point, and then shoot all the way back up. We'll see. You know, we're not going to make any predictions here, guys. We're just waiting to see how price reacts to everything that's going on today, because there is news today. And then this is still like early on in the market. So we'll see. Like I mentioned earlier, so if you guys listened to my analysis earlier, I mentioned that, you know, the opening candle is usually manipulated. Once it gets to the top, price will either come back down to correct to where price was and then continue dropping, or it continues swinging back up. So right here, if this happens right here, if this closes below here, this is probably going to keep dropping. But we'll see how this ends up playing out. We got about 5 minutes left on this candle. So we'll see how this, how the market reacts to current price. And then we'll see if we decide to, yeah, I'm probably not going to take this trade right here, Trell. If you guys want to take it, I'll give you guys this as a speculative call. So if you guys want to take the trade, you guys can, but I'm probably not going to take it. The reason for that's because of the FOMC in the next 3 hours. Like the last thing I want to do is enter a sell position here. And then this is probably what's going to happen. Look, this is what will probably happen here is price will probably come down slightly, and then it'll just go sideways for a long time up until FOMC, right? FOMC is going to be right here at 11 a.m. my time, right here. So FOMC is going to be right over here at 11. And then as soon as it goes sideways like this, it's going to end up skyrocketing up, right? So this is why I'm not going to call the daily entry, because I don't want to get caught up in this move right here. Because, you know, market volatility is going to either die down or it's going to pick up around 9 a.m. in the next 2 hours. So if this closes here, I'll give you guys this trade, but I'm not going to take it myself. So it's a trade that you guys can take at your own risk if you guys really want to take it. Yeah, exactly. See what Mark just said right now. I said, bro, they're going to trap traders. Don't fall for it. It's exactly why I'm not going to take this trade right here. Even though it's a daily entry, I'm not going to take it. It's just a trap. Like this right here, this is a trap, bro. I think this is going to end up correcting back up. It's going to drop and then it's going to swing. It's like if you guys, let me see if I can rewind this. So I marked it up. I marked it up right over, right there, right? So I just rewinded my markups. This is probably what's going to happen here, or it's probably going to drop even further before it ends up swinging back up. So I'd be really wary of taking any sells here. The reason for that is because there's a lot of retail traders that are selling right now. Yeah, you don't want to trade with the sheep right here. They're probably going to get slaughtered in the next 3 hours or so. Because I could already see the FOMC news being good. Reason for that is because a lot of states here in the U.S. are starting to reopen. So if they're going to start to reopen, you know, it's going to be good for the economy. If the economy is doing well, the stock market's probably going to pick up as well, because then people have money to invest in the stock market, right? So it's going to be it's going to move along with our US 30 if we're looking for a buy here. So I'm not going to take this sell even if it closes. But you know, I'll just give you guys the parameters if that becomes the case, where it becomes available, because it's not really available right now, but it might be in the next minute and 40 seconds. So we got the countdown timer right here, 1 minute 40 seconds for this candle to close. We'll see how it closes, but I'm not going to take any sells. I'm going to be for a buy bias. It's probably going to reach this all-time high over here. Let's see how far the all-time high is. So the all-time high is this number right here, 33,005. Measuring it from where price currently is, it's not that bad. It's about 1,400 pips. So that's a pretty smooth move up if it ends up spiking all the way back up. So yeah, just looking at this here, nothing there. Let me just scroll up real quick, see what else is going on over here before I continue on. Trell said a few more zones just popped up. So let me just get that real quick. Oh gosh. Okay, cool. Thanks, Trell. Yeah, so if you guys have seen Trell in the group, he's the one that's been sharing a lot of the K2 snipes, like basically all the scalp trades overnight, because I'm not awake during London session. So big props to Trell for sharing all those trades, and everyone else in the group that's sharing the trades as well. So if you guys are here in the premium, you guys can see right here that here's Trell right here. He's sharing trades with you guys here like all throughout the night. So, thanks to Trell, a lot of you guys probably caught a lot of these moves, or he probably cleared up a ton of confusion for you guys. And same with like William over here. Nice work, William, off that. Other than that, yeah, Trell's he's marking up charts all throughout the night, and he's sharing them with you guys. So if you guys are wondering who Trell is, he's the dude here that's sending all of these markups during the London session here. So he caught some good trades. Like he called this one right here for a buy, and that thing went up pretty nice. So let's see, that candle just closed. Yeah, so no sell signal there. So we'll keep watching this and see how it plays out. But like I was mentioning, price is rejecting right off this structure down here. So we'll see how it plays out. But other than that, let me just see if there's anything else here. No, we're good. All right, looks like we're cool here. Billy said, knock, knock, let me in the Zoom room, please. Yeah, I think you're in here now, Billy, right? So I think everyone who tried to get into the Zoom's in already. So you guys should be good to go. Other than that, hey, morning, Bryce. Peter said gold. So I'll add gold to the list, Peter, and then we can take a look at that. So Peter wants me to take a look at gold. I'll reanalyze that for you in a little bit once US 30 is kind of calmed down a bit. All right, so I think we're good for the most part now. Morning, Jasmine, how's it going? Yeah, Jay said bottom zone is 32,780 area, 32,780. Oh, you have like way down there, huh? Yeah, so Jay has his zone drawn like way down here. If I go on the higher time frame, we could probably find a bigger zone down there. So let me see. I'm gonna go over to Jay's price. So Jay's price was 32,780. Yeah, so his zone's below there. If I turn on the K2 SRs, we probably have a zone down there as well. Yeah, so we got a zone around that area too. So you're on point with that, Jay. You can see that our zone's kind of or the low zone is like farther down, a little farther down right here. Turn this off. Yeah, so Jay's zone's down there, and then there's let me see if there's another one here. Yeah, there's a zone right here. Actually, there's a zone right here, and then so J zone's like right in between two of the K2SR zones. So that's a pretty solid zone for you, right there, Jay. We'll keep watching the 10 minutes to see how price ends up reacting. So if this ends up closing right here, this would be a sell scalp, but I'm not going to take this sell scalp right here because, like I mentioned, I'm not really looking for any sells right now. I'll give you guys a trade, but I'm probably not going to take it myself because it's just too risky. Or actually, we might be able to take it for a quick scalp. I might take it for a really quick one. I'm not going to go for the full move. I'll probably just tell you guys, hey, I'm going to take this trade, and then I'm probably going to bounce out when it drops slightly. So we got 7 minutes left on this candle. I'll wait for it to close, but if it does close, this is a valid entry right here because we do have a wick rejection off the pivot and a wick rejection off the structure. So it should be good to go. But like I mentioned, this is going to be a very, very risky trade. So I'm probably only going to reach to like, maybe like down here for like 200 pips, and I'll probably manually exit it because I don't want to get caught in any whipsaws. Like I don't want price to come down and then all of a sudden it just spikes all the way up from here again, right? Because that's probably what's going to happen. All right, we'll see how it closes. If it closes too low, then I'm probably not going to take it, but we'll see if we want to take this trade right here or not. All right, let's see. So Kendra wants me to take a look at GJ. I'll add you to the list, Kendra. All right, here we go. We got about 6 minutes left on this. I'll see, because this is still far from your zone down there, Jay. Even if I was to take this trade, your zone's still down here at 780. So we should be able to probably hit our TP before it even hits your zone down here that you marked up. Yeah, your zone's gonna be way down here. So we got enough space here for a quick little move, if that becomes the case. All right, we got 5 minutes left on this candle. All right, we'll see how this closes. If it closes red, then I'll probably take it. If it closes green, bullish, I'm probably not going to take it because it's probably going to swing right back up. Because you can see it's rejecting off the structure right here. It might just swing all the way back up. So we'll see how this candle closes. This candle is going to give us a hint as to where price is probably going to be moving for the next X amount of time. We also have the crude oil inventories news coming up in about 15 minutes as well. So we'll see how this plays out. Yeah, same here, Jay. I'm not really going to trade during FOMC, but I'll be watching it. But yeah, the session's probably going to cut short today. Like I'll probably be watching it on my own time, but I'm not going to be watching it on the live because I already know myself. If I'm looking at these trades with you guys during FOMC, I'm going to be tempted to take some trades. It's the same with like Friday. That's why our Friday sessions are kind of short because I don't trade on Fridays, but I do come on to answer questions. But I tend to take like dumb trades on Friday. So that's why I usually don't go on live sessions for too long on Friday. And same on like big heavy news days like today for FOMC. So this session is probably going to run until like 9 a.m. my time. And then around that time, we'll see if there's any trades. If not, we're probably going to hop off for this session, and I'll probably return for Asia session later today. I do have a live session later today with, let me check, Billy, Joey, and Kyle, I think. So I think this is our normal session at 4 p.m. my time. So that's probably the next time I'll go live for some possible afternoon scalps. So if you guys want to sit in on that session later today, because I don't send that link out to you guys normally. If you guys want to sit in on that session, just make sure that you guys like this stream, you guys follow the YouTube channel, and that you turn on notifications so that YouTube knows that you guys want to watch my videos, and they'll send you an email when I go live. Otherwise, if you guys dislike the video, that's cool too. You guys can like or dislike it because it's cool. If you guys dislike it, YouTube won't show you my videos anymore. And that's fine because I'm not trying to share my trades and my profits with those people anyways. So it's all good. You guys can like it, dislike it. I don't really care. But if you guys want to get my trades, you guys obviously would have to show YouTube that you want to watch my videos. But yeah, thanks for like, if you guys like or dislike it helps the video in both ways because it'll stop showing videos to the people who are disliking it, which is fine because I guess you don't like to make profits for free, and for the people who do like it, that's cool because you'll keep getting my videos sent over to you. So it doesn't really make a difference to me. That's your loss if you want to go and do that. But all right, we got about 2 minutes left on this candle. So we're just waiting for this to close. I'm just checking my messages real quick. We got about 2 minutes and 30 seconds left. Hey, morning, Kimmy. How's it going, bro? Let's see if there's anything else here real quick. Neptune said your YouTube channel will be very big soon, bro. Yeah, thanks, Neptune. Our main goal here is just to help people out. And that's why I go live every day. I share my trades with you guys for free, and I give you guys free advice. I don't really get much out of this. It's just, Cal would say whoever disliked held a trade too long or mad they missed the scalp. Yeah, exactly. It's all good, Cam. I don't care. Because like, honestly, it doesn't really affect me. Like if people dislike the video, it just doesn't show them the video, but it'll keep showing it to other people that actually want to see this. So some people don't understand how the algorithm works, right? Like whenever someone makes an action on the video, it connects to like their network of people. So if someone dislikes it, it's cool because they'll show the videos to their friends who like trading. So their friends could be profiting with this while they don't get the videos anymore, which is all good. Great Awakener said, "You're awesome for streaming this for free, man. You made me money so many times." Definitely, Awakener. I'm glad. That's the whole goal here, guys. I'm not here asking for anything from you guys. I'm just here to share my advice and share my trades with you guys. Because this stream is available. Like you don't have to sign up for anything. You just go on YouTube and here's a stream for you guys. So guys, looking at that trade here that I was just looking at for this green candle, like I was mentioning, we wanted this to close below here so that there would be a rejection off the pivot and structure for a sell, right? But looking at current price right here, Like I mentioned, if it's a green candle, I'm probably not going to take it because it's probably going to bounce off from here. So we'll see. We got about 40 seconds left on this candle. The timer's right here. So if you guys are wondering what I'm waiting for this timer to go down so that we can see where this candle closes and we can determine whether there's a scalp available or not. So looking at this over here, we got 30 seconds left. If this rejects, if this closes like this would technically be a valid scalp entry, but I'm not going to take it. And the reason for that's because you can see here price is starting to get choppy, right? So if I turn off the candles right here, you guys can see all this choppiness right here. This is like an area not to trade because you might get kicked out of some trades here because you can see there's entries from both directions, but over here it's smooth move up, so you can take buys. So yeah, looking at this here, this technically is a scalp entry, but I probably would not take it. The reason for that's because price is starting to get choppy, right? So let me just go back real quick and then I'll show you what I mean by that. So if I turn off the candles, you guys can see within this area right here, choppiness, right? This area right here, choppiness. So I wouldn't take trades in this area, or this area right here, but I would take buys right here. I would take sells right here. I would take sells right here. And I would take buys right here, right? So there's certain areas where I'll be taking trades if they're like moving in a certain direction. So if I turn the candles back on, you guys can see right here, there's no buy entries over there. But then again, when it drops down here, you can see that there's a lot of entries right here that we're taking. So if you guys sat in on the live session yesterday, this right here was the trade we took. That was a full TP. Again, same situation over here. We would have held off. And if we wanted to take some sells right here, we could have taken this. That looks like that might have hit some TP right there, or depending on where your TP stop loss was, it could have hit TP or it would have hit stop loss. But you don't want to trade where price is kind of choppy. Like this area here, too choppy. This area right here, it's just straight consolidation, right? So there's certain areas where you want to trade, certain areas where you don't want to trade, but you definitely want to trade when price is actually moving directional. So if you guys want to take this trade, this was the trade that was available, but like I mentioned, I'm not taking it, so I didn't call it for you guys. But if you guys did want to take this trade, this would have been the entry for this green one right here. It's just too risky for me, guys. You guys know how I trade. I trade very conservative, so I don't like to take trades that I'm not 100% sure about. So the reason for this entry right here is because we would have applied the K2 snipe strategy. So if you guys aren't familiar with that, if you guys are brand new here, this is the K2 snipe strategy. So for this, you just want to confirm wick rejection off K2 pivot, which could be any pivot. Second, you can confirm wick rejection off K2 SR zone. And then lastly, confirm wick rejection off K2 pivot does not touch candle body. So that's what we were looking for here. We were confirming wick rejection off the K2 pivot, which would be this wick rejection off this green candle. Confirm a wick rejection off the K2 SR zone, which would be this entire area right here. And then we just want to make sure that the pivot doesn't touch the body. So the pivot right here doesn't touch the body. It goes right through the wick. So this is the entry that would have been available, but I didn't take it because it's a risky trade. Price is starting to get choppy. It's starting to go sideways a bit. So I wouldn't want to take this because the last thing I want to do is trade come down here and then it just reverses on me, right? Which is probably what's going to happen here. But we'll watch it and we'll see how it plays out. But this is the same strategy that we used over here. So for this trade over here, for this buy, this is the one that we took. This red candle right here, we had the wick rejection off the pivot, wick rejection off the structure, and we took the buy position right there. So with that said right there, that's the trade we took this morning, or that I took this morning. And a lot of you guys did take as well, where I locked in this profit here this morning. So this morning, 317 at about 7:01 a.m., I locked in about 1,292, and that's from this move right here. So it's the same strategy. It's just going both ways. The only problem with this is that even though this is a valid entry, it is a risky entry. So for me, I only call trades for you guys if I know they're for sure. So if I ever call a trade for you guys, I'm positive that's going to hit. I wasn't positive about this one, so that's why I didn't call it. But if you guys did take it, then you guys are in profit right now so far. So we'll see how it plays out. I hope it plays out in profit. What I hope happens is it comes down, hits your TP, and then it does whatever it wants from there. Like once it hits that point, it can either go up or it can go down. Doesn't matter at that point, right? But that's basically what we're looking at here. So just keep that in mind. And this is basically the strategy that we're applying here for these scalps. So if you guys are brand new here and you guys don't know it, you guys can go on the website, k2trades.com. Let me just put this back on my other screen. Yeah, if you guys want to learn this strategy, just go on the website, k2trades.com. And then, oh, sorry, it's over here. Yeah, just go on the website, k2trades.com right here. And then you can either sign up for the free access course right here. If you sign up for the free course, you can learn all the strategies, but you won't have access to the indicators. If you guys want to actually apply these indicators here and these strategies, you just click on K2 strategy course right here. And this is how you'll get access to it. So I'm still letting people sign up for the indicators and stuff, but we're cutting off the mentorship. So I'm not going to be mentoring people one-on-one anymore, but you guys can still sign up for it. Because, you know, obviously you guys can learn the strategy on your own and you guys can learn from coming on these live sessions, but I'm not going to be holding one-on-one live session, one-on-one mentoring sessions with brand new members anymore, because I'm going to be more focused on my own trades and just mentoring the people who are already within K2, because we're just getting too busy, guys. And I don't have time to mentor like every single person anymore, because there's way too many people that want to get mentorship from me. Nice. Yeah. Miriam said we need a love button. Definitely. Nice. Luis made 8K on NQ. Nice, Luis. So if you guys are here on the YouTube chat, you guys can see the chat over here. Luis mentioned that he made 8K. If you guys were sitting in on the live session yesterday, we talked about this with Luis. NK is going to be the NASDAQ. So he bought NASDAQ, I believe, right? So let me pull up NASDAQ real quick. Yeah, so he bought NASDAQ. It looks like he bought it from this low right here, Luis. Is that what happened? Down here? Yeah, because if you bought it from the bottom, this thing pushed up quite a bit. 1,200 pips. Nice move off that, bro, if you caught that from the bottom. Going back to US 30 over here. Like I mentioned, this is why I didn't take that trade, right? See how far it's in negative now? This is why I didn't take the trade. You know, you have to use proper judgment with these markets right here, guys. Don't get caught in these traps. So technically that was in profit. So whoever was in this trade might have closed out in profit. But it played out like I said, right? I said it was going to reject off this point, and that's exactly what it did. And that's why I didn't take this trade here. Because this market is just kind of risky right now. The reason for that is because of the sentiment. This is like one of the key identifiers that we use for US 30, like for the past 2 weeks now, because sentiment has been so short. If sentiment is short, the institutions and banks aren't going to trade in that direction, right? They're going to trade opposite because they want to stop out all of these retail traders. I mean, there's going to be some people that get lucky taking these sells, like these little drops, but they're going to get wiped out if they end up holding on to that trade. So, yeah, I mean, we'll see how this plays out. I think market might be choppy for the most part this morning because of FOMC this morning. In the next 2 hours. So this morning, this is probably just going to keep, let's see, it's probably just going to keep bouncing within this range here until FOMC happens. And then once FOMC is all done, it'll probably spike either up or either down. Sorry guys, every time someone joins the Zoom, my screen freezes up. Yeah, so price will probably, it'll probably bounce between here and then around 11. This would be 11 right here when the Fed starts to speak. Right there. At this time, this is where it's going to, you know, choose the direction, whether it goes up or whether it goes down. Man, that's crazy, guys. So my analysis right here played out perfectly. Rejected off it and it shot right back up. So I'm glad we didn't take that sell right there. Way too risky. Exactly. Yeah. John said today's a good day to move your stop loss and profit once you get some. Yeah, I agree. Today's not a day to take risky trades. Because of FOMC, because one trade could be going your way and then at the last second it'll just reverse on you immediately. So I would be very, very careful with your trades today and make sure to manage your risk properly. So I'm going to close that because we decided not to take that trade, like I mentioned, and we'll see how this plays out. I'm hoping this keeps pushing up higher and then breaks above here, comes back down, provides for a buy entry somewhere around here. And then we can take this this buy, you know, once it appears. We'll see how it plays out. Nice, yeah. Luis in the chat, if you guys are here in the YouTube chat, Luis said that NQ's been good this week. Yesterday he made 10K. Yeah, so if you guys were following us yesterday, we were talking about that yesterday too. Let me go back to the NASDAQ, because there were some buy scalps that were available for the NASDAQ yesterday. Like, let's see where the first one was. I think it was right here. Or no. Oh, it was right here. This is where it was, right? Yeah, so if you guys sat in on our live session yesterday on the 16th right here, this was 16th yesterday morning. There was a couple buy scalps here for the NASDAQ. Same strategy that we were applying right here. We have the wick rejection off the pivot, wick rejection off the structure. We can enter on the open of the falling candle, which would be right here for a buy. And then if we were to let that run, straight to full TP right there, depending on where your TP was. I don't trade the NASDAQ, so I don't know what the sweet spot is for this. But depending on where your TP was, either way, you would hit TP with like no drawdown. And there was a couple entries here. So there's one entry there. There's like 5 entries here, actually. So if you look at this here, there's a wick rejection here. So there's one. There actually is a lot. All this area here. You could have taken any of these trades. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. If you took any of these 10 trades right here, they all would have hit full TP, right? Because if you took this one down here, full TP. You took this one right here, full TP. You took that one, like they all would have hit. So it doesn't matter if you missed one or you took multiples. It would have been a great move. So this is what is kind of what Luis took yesterday during our talk yesterday for the NASDAQ. I'm sure he uses a different strategy as well, but if he used our strategy here, this would have hit full TP there as well. So let's go back to US 30, see how it's playing out. All right, so this looks like it might be a possible buy scalp. So this is something that I would probably take. Right here, we got about 8 minutes left on this candle. Once it closes, I'll let you guys know if, what the parameters are. So I'll be waiting for this here. And then after that closes out, we can determine, what we're gonna be doing next. All right, we just need this candle to close bullish. That's the main thing. Because we need the wick rejection off the pivot and the structure. So if this closes bullish, or with even a small green candle will be fine. As long as we get this rejection. So I'm gonna show you guys what we're looking for. We're looking for this right here. We want this wick to reject off the pivot and the structure. It's within the structure right now, but now we just want a wick to reject off both the pivot and the structure. With that said, we can take a buy entry here, and then we can test this out. It's gonna be a risky move, so I'm probably gonna close this out early, but I will let you guys know, what the setup looks like. And let me just mark this up over here for you guys that are in the premium. Because what I'm doing now, guys, is I'm documenting all of these scalps that we're taking here. So let me just go back to there. All right, and I'll just update the I'm just going to send that in the Telegram because I just want to, we're just documenting these trades as we take them so that I can put the totals at the end of the week. Because we're mostly scalping now with the US 30 versus, focusing on those daily entries because these are yielding way more profits. All right. There goes Joey. Joey just made it in. All right, cool. So looking at this here, like I mentioned, if this doesn't close bullish, then we're probably not going to take this trade. But market is getting really choppy right here. We have 6 minutes left on this candle, so it's a lot of time for this candle to close out. But like I mentioned earlier, I mentioned that price is probably just going to go sideways up until FOMC, which is going to be at 11. I was hoping that we'd have some movement until then, because we still have about, we still have about 3 hours left until FOMC. So I was hoping we'd catch some scalps from now until then, but who knows? We'll just have to wait and see. We're not going to force any trades. We're just going to wait for those trades to appear, and then we're going to pounce on them as we get them. So we still got 6 minutes left. I'm hoping this closes as a green candle, similar to these right here, so we can take that buy. But we'll see. Let me check the sentiment real quick. Sentiment is now at Still at 74%. So majority of retail traders are short right now. And looking at the sentiment here, it looks like people are short for US 30. They're heavily short for the DAX 30, 79%. And I think that's it for that. What about the S&P? Yeah, so S&P, it's pretty mixed. S&P is mixed. They only have 59% of people short. Dow 30, 75%, and the DAX is 79. So that's a big, big difference. So I'll check those other indices right now and we'll see how those are moving. We got 5 minutes left on here, so I'll come back to this. But let's check out the DAX real quick. The DAX is bullish right here. It's kind of weird because US 30 and the DAX, they usually move alongside each other. So if this is bullish right here, there's actually a scalp entry that was available right here. So technically there's a scalp entry that's currently running for the DAX. Not sure if anyone caught this. Yeah, there's a scalp entry here for this green candle right here. You can see the wick rejection off the pivot and the structure, and it's pushing up. So this would be a scalp entry currently active for the DAX. So it looks bullish. If this is bullish, US 30 is probably going to be bullish as well because they move sideways. I mean, they move alongside each other. So generally, US 30 is overall bullish, similar to the DAX over here. So they move very similar. But yesterday, for some reason, the DAX and the S&P were moving opposite of US 30. So we'll go to S&P real quick. Yeah, this is weird right here. Usually S&P moves exactly, it's like the mirror asset for US 30, but right here, this is a huge difference right here, right? The S&P is going down while the US 30 is going up. So we'll see real quick. Hey, what's up, Jeff? Jeff, we use IG sentiment. So if you just go on, you just Google, so you just type in, let's see, but depending on what you're looking at, Jeff, you can just type in IG, US 30 IG sentiment, and then it'll just go to IG.com, and then you can pull that up right there. Or if you go to the daily FX sentiment, they got this right here too. So just type in US 30 IG sentiment, and then you can pull this up. If you pull this up right here, it'll give you the Forex pairs. It'll give you US oil, the Dow 30, all the other indices and cryptos right here. So if you want to look that up, just Google US 30 IG sentiment, and then they should come up perfectly fine right over there. All right, so let's go back to US 30 real quick. Damn, man, this thing is literally just going sideways. It's probably gonna keep bouncing within this area, guys. So if I take this off right here, or if I take two of these off, this looks like the range. All right, it looks fine right here. But like I was mentioning, from this area over here, or this area up here to this area down here, these are the big zones. And then these are the tighter zones right here. So it looks like US 30 is probably gonna squeeze up until the FOMC when the Fed speaks later. And then once you reach 11 a.m. right here, this is probably going to shoot up or shoot down once it breaks out of that little squeeze right there. Jeff's asking, is this real time or daily? So this is, it's real time. Well, I mean, it's real time for the day. So like for today, the market swap happens at 2 p.m. So this has been pushing since yesterday, 2 p.m., I believe, for the daily. But you can change it from like daily or weekly. So this thing right here is going to be real time, like this bar right here. But if you look at the numbers right here, it'll show you the change from the daily from the swap. So the swap happens around 2 p.m. our time, or 1:30 p.m. our time, up until 4 p.m. our time. So from 4 o'clock yesterday afternoon till now, this is a change for the Dow. It's been down 5% for longs, and it's been up 2% for shorts. And then for the weekly, that's the change. Not really much for longs, but more people have been jumping in on the shorts right down there. But let me go back over here. Yeah, just looking at US 30, guys, there's not really much movement, right? It just came back to where it initially was. So market opened right here, it dropped, came back up, dropped back to the same area. So it's just going to be consolidating, right? Well, not really consolidating, but it's going to be ranging between this area up until the Fed speaks over here. I'm just waiting for it to actually break out. Once it breaks out above here, I can take some buys. If it breaks down here, I'll take some sells. But like I was mentioning earlier, there's probably not going to be too much movement because the Fed's going to directly affect the US 30, with regard to their economic outlook for the month. Let's Let's go back to the DAX real quick. All right, cool. So Portia is in this DAX right here. Portia said, I'm in that DAX by Shawn. Definitely, definitely. So this looks fine. I think it's going to be bullish, and it's before the all-time high. So the all-time high is kind of far off anyways. All-time high is way up here. So if you were to take this trade right here, Portia, you should be fine. I think you should hit your TP before it gets close to that all-time high. So I think you should be all right. But like I was mentioning, it's just a tricky time to trade right now because of Powell, everyone's favorite, Jay Powell. He's going to move the market in about 2 hours from now, or 3 hours. So we'll keep following it. But it just doesn't really look like there's much for us to take right here. So let's see, Jeffrey said, good call on the choppiness. People are scared of what Powell is going to say about future inflation and bond yields quickly rising. My opinion means nothing, but people usually freak on these days. Yeah, same here, Jeffrey. The main goal well, not the main goal, but like the main thing with trading news is the easiest way not to get stressed out by news is to just not trade it, right? Just sit out the market. You don't have to trade every single minute, guys. So that's another misconception that a lot of people get. They think like in order to be successful scalping, you have to trade every single scalp, right? You don't have to. You have to be very subjective, with regard to what you decide to take and what you decide not to take. The strategy is objective, obviously, because it's a checklist, but you have to put in like other factors when taking these trades. Because like, check this out, guys. There's a lot of entries here that were available. So from the, let's see, the market opened here on the 15th, right? Or no, the 14th. Yeah. So this was Sunday. Sunday was the 14th. So from this area, if you look at the chart from this area right here, you can see how many entries were available, right? There's a lot of entries that you guys could have taken here, right? You could have taken some buys right here. You could have made some profit. You could have taken some buys right here. You probably could have taken some losses. So if the thing is, if you're taking every single trade, yeah, you're probably going to make some profit, but you don't have to take every single trade. If you guys look at my, my trades for the week, let me just pull them up again real quick. So my trades for the week over here, like I don't take every single trade. I only take the stuff that I'm actually like 100% certain about. So if I show you guys my trades here for the week, let me just pull up the MT4 real quick. I'm just gonna minimize it so it's just showing trades from this week. So I can show you that I didn't take every single trade. Like I could have taken every single trade, but I didn't. So looking at my trades here, I only took 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 trades, right? I took 6 trades here. I was selective with my trades. I only took what I knew was going to hit. And there's probably like 20 or 30 entries here that you could have taken. But if you guys are just selective with your trades and you pick the stuff that's really good, obviously looking at this here, I only took 6 trades, but if you add this up, I mean, this is a pretty nice profit from just Monday till now, like 922.50 plus 1295 plus 845 plus 117 plus 249 plus 1292.50. So a total of 4,721 in 2 days, which, I mean, this is not bad because I didn't take any losses. As long as you guys manage your risk properly and if you guys are able to eliminate all your losses, or majority of your losses, it just keeps stacking up and it keeps compounding. So this is what I'm just trying to show you guys, that like, you don't have to take every single trade. Like today's FOMC, so you should probably be taking it easy anyways, because you can get caught in some really bad trades if you end up trading off emotion. But going back to that trade earlier, so we have a message here from you guys over here. So the scalp that we looked at earlier, this one right here that I said was risky, looks like it's now back in profit. So this is it would have hit TP already. So that trade that I said was risky right here, I said it was a valid trade, but it was risky. It just hit TP. So whoever took that trade, congrats. You got some thick skin if you took that trade, because I would have been freaking out once it shot up here because of this choppiness. So yeah, if you guys were in the stream like 10 minutes ago and you guys saw this markup that I made for this one, it looks like it just hit TP. I didn't take the trade, but for whoever did, nice work. That's just too risky for me. I would have started sweating once you got up to here, close to that stop loss up there. So you guys can see that the strategy does work. It's an objective strategy, but it's going to have some losses if you're not careful with what trades you decide to take and trades that you decide to skip on. Hey Mary, how's it going? Doing great. Profit's been pretty good so far this week, so I'm not complaining about anything. I'm good with what we made, and I'm trying to make more, but we'll have to see. We're just waiting for stuff to play out because we do have heavy news coming in about 2 hours or 3 hours actually. So I'll probably be on this live for another 2 hours up until like maybe 9 or 10. Hopefully catch some trades. If I don't catch anything, then we'll probably just call it a day, and then I'll probably be back for the Asia session. Let's see. We got some news later today too. So we got news all morning for FOMC, and then we have some Aussie news later tonight. But all right, so I'm gonna go through your questions now, since the market kind of died down a bit. So the first question is gonna be from Peter. He wants me to take a look at gold. So let me pull up gold for you guys real quick. XAU USD. So I'm gonna go and delete everything off the chart. I'll analyze this from scratch so that you guys can see exactly what I'm looking for here. So I'm gonna zoom out from here. This is gold on the 4-hour. Here's a naked chart. First thing I do is I turn on the K²SR indicator. And then from this point, I draw my zone so I can identify the rejection points on the chart. So we got a zone up there. We got this zone right here. Got another one here. There. And down here. All right, so once we have these zones drawn up, the next thing we do is we turn on the momentum indicator to identify the direction of price. So I'll turn that off. And you guys can see right here, we have some perfectly drawn zones, right? Price breaks into the structure, consolidates for a long time, breaks down, comes back up for a retest, drops back down to where it was going, retest, drop back down, retest, now consolidation. So it looks like gold is just consolidating within the zone right here. So if I zoom in a little closer, I'm gonna turn on the momentum indicator. And it's just bouncing around. So what I kind of see happening here, Peter, is I probably see a rejection off this point. I would want a sell signal somewhere around here. So if we get a sell signal around here, then I anticipate it to drop down to here. And then it's probably just going to keep bouncing back and forth within this zone until it either breaks above here or until it comes back down and breaks below here, right? So a couple of scenarios here that can play out, but obviously you can see gold is just consolidating within this area right now. It's not really, it doesn't really have a set direction. But right here, I mean, technically we have a bullish bias because the most recent signal was a buy signal right here. However, I'm not going to take any buys until price closes above the structure right here. I want price to close above the structure right here. And then I would take the buy right there and then write it up to the next structure right here, right? That would be my setup right there for a buy. Vice versa, in other words, if price rejects off this point, provides a sell signal and drops to here. So if it provides a sell signal down here, continues to drop, and then say it closes below this zone right here. So we got this right there. We get another close below this zone right here. With that said, if price rejects off this point, we get a sell signal, breaks and close past this structure here, then I would take a sell. But until then, I'm going to be sitting tight, Peter. There just isn't really much for us to take right now off gold, off the higher time frame. But look, I'll do this. I'll go on the shorter time frame, and then I'll see if there's any scalps, because maybe there's some scalps off gold, right? You don't necessarily have to only trade the higher time frame. So let's go on the 30-minute real quick. Let me see if there's any zones around this area. So yeah, this is too choppy. It doesn't really look like something that I would personally want to take. Like this is super choppy around this area. I guess the most recent entry that would have been a decent entry probably would have been down here, where price was actually moving smoothly. So I'm just going to draw these zones right here. Yeah, gold is in a really choppy area right now, so I probably wouldn't mess with gold, especially with the Fed speaking a little bit, Peter. I probably wouldn't mess with gold because it's going to it's probably going to have some unusual movement in the next couple hours or so. But just looking at this here, price was trending within this area over here, so you could have taken some trades around this area. However, I wouldn't take any trades around this area right here, because it starts to get way too choppy around this area, just consolidate sideways. So like, for example, if you were to look for a trade over here, you know, this probably would have been the first entry here, because you can see the same strategy that we apply. We have the wick rejection off the pivot, wick rejection off the structure. If you were to take a long position right here, right there, and you let it run, full TP, right? Pretty simple. That'd be a full TP right there. Again, right here, another wick rejection off the pivot and structure. If you decided to take that right there as well, another, let's see, another full TP right there as well. So this would be a time to trade it, but where price currently is, I wouldn't mess with it because it's just too choppy. You want to make sure that price is actually directional and it's actually moving, you know, one way. But right now, I wouldn't take any trades in this area. It's just too choppy right here. And like going back to the 4 hour, it's just going to range within this area anyways. So that's pretty much my analysis for gold right now. If I see anything else, then we are probably going to look at it a little later. So let's see, going back to US 30 real quick. Oh, nice. Yeah. So Jay said back from Forex Funded Breakfast, LOL. US 30 in the zone that we called. Yeah, Jay. So it played out like how I mentioned, right? So I mentioned that if whoever took this sell scalp right here, you know, it probably would have hit their TP before spiking back up. I know your zone is like way down here. Well, it's not way down here, but it's a little farther. Let's see. You said it was like 780 or something like that. Let me just scroll up real quick. Yeah, so Jay said 32,780. Yeah, on point right here. 32,780. So yeah, it might continue to drop a little farther. So whoever took that scalp would have made a nice profit off that. I didn't take the scalp because I found it to be risky, but it did play out like how me and Jay were analyzing it like a few minutes ago. If you guys want to rewind the replay of this live stream, you guys will see, you know, what we analyzed earlier for this specific drop here that could have possibly played out, but it wasn't too clear of a move enough for me to want to take it. So let me go back down real quick. Yeah, let me see if there's any other zones that have been created. I don't think there's anything else right now. No, nothing new. It's still within this area. So what might happen here is this might just end up swinging back up from this point. But we'll see. I'm not going to hop into trades unless I see something that's really good. All right, so that's it for those questions right there. I see the next question is from Kendra. She wants me to take a look at GJ. So let's go to GJ real quick. I got GJ right here open on the 4 hour. This is still technically running from the other day, Kendra. So I did mark this up like a couple sessions ago, and I did review it again on what was it? On Monday or Tuesday, actually. So I did look over this yesterday and the day before, and it's still technically active. It didn't hit full TP yet. It's on its way there for 154 pips over here. So I'll just go ahead and reanalyze this from scratch, and I'll show you guys, you know, how I figured that out. So I'm gonna zoom out from this point. Here is the naked chart. First thing I'm gonna do is turn on the K² SR indicator. And looking at this right here, we have a zone down there. And, you know, just another reminder, I'm drawing these zones to identify the rejection points so that I know where to trade and where not to trade. Because you don't want to trade where the zones are, obviously. That's where price gets manipulated. Because that's where everyone's trading. You know, everyone's looking for those break and retest patterns. Everyone's looking for the same thing. So I usually wait for price to break these structures, and then I take trades when they break them in the direction of momentum, or break and close to be more specific. But I don't necessarily try to predict where price is going to go when it reaches these zones here. I'll wait for that full confirmation. So there's the zones there on the 4 hour. I'm going to look for the higher ones on the 8 hour. Nothing there. The daily, there's nothing there. The weekly, there's still nothing there. So we got to go on the monthly now. All right. So this is going to be the monthly resistance way up here. So let's go back to the 4 hour. Turn these off. And that's pretty much how I got my zones. So if you guys saw my analysis earlier, this is exactly how I got my zones here. The next thing I do is I turn on the momentum indicator to identify, you know, the direction of momentum. So for example, right here, we have a buy signal. So that's going to direct momentum to the upside. So the way that I marked up this position right here was because I identified a rejection off the structure right here, identified a buy signal right here, and identified price breaking close past structure right here. So with that said, I would have entered a long position right here. So depending on where your TP was, Kendra, it would have hit, I mean, you probably would have hit full TP already if your TP was like 100 pips, which is generally like a sweet spot for a lot of people, since a lot of people like to use whole numbers. So that would have been TP already if your TP was around there. Vice versa, if you had it a little farther out, like maybe 150 pips, looks like it's still technically running. So it just depends on where you place your TP stop loss, but it's the same pattern that just keeps repeating itself, right? So for example, over here, same situation, right? Let me just, I'll rewind it over here and I'll show you how this strategy necessarily works. So I could even rewind it all the way over here. I'll just show you exactly, what we're looking for when we're applying this strategy. So like, for example, here we have a rejection from this point. We have a buy signal right here. And this candle right here, broken close past structure, right? We try to keep trading as simple as possible. It's not that difficult, right? Because price only goes two directions. It can go up or it can go down. So it can go sideways for a bit, but eventually it's going to have to go up or it's going to have to go down, right? So that's why we keep it super simple. We identify the direction of momentum. We identify, critical structures in market when identifying market structure. And then we enter a trade when we see an entry. So for example, here, we would have rode this to the next structure up here because like I was mentioning before, price generally bounces from structure to structure, right? Price will break the structure. It'll go to the next one. It'll bounce off, hit that next one, bounce back off. And it's the same pattern. It just keeps going from structure to structure, right? To zone trading. So looking at this right here, if you were to catch this right here and you took that trade, like check that out, full TP right there, right? Easy as that. So in this situation right here, we're looking for the same thing. We're waiting for price to break and close past structure again above here. And then we can take that trade. So we're just waiting for, actually there's a break and close past over here actually. So let me just delete this. So same pattern again right here. We have the buy signal right here. We have the break and close past structure right here. With that said, you can take another long position right there. And then ride that to the next structure above here, right? It's the same pattern. If we let that run out again right there, full TP again right there, right? Same thing. It's the same thing that just keeps repeating itself. And then if you're looking for the same thing again over here, we're just waiting for price to do the same thing, break and close past structure with momentum going upwards. So right here, same exact pattern, right? Buy signal, rejection off this point, breaking close past structure right there. What do you think is going to happen from that point? It's going to push up to the next structure up here. So this isn't even the full move. The full move is actually going to be way up here. But if you look at this from that point, it's still on its way, right? So Kendra, looking at this here at GJ, it still has a bullish bias, but it's going to consolidate a bit before it ends up shooting up. So it's probably going to go sideways for a bit. There's probably going to be another structure that's going to build somewhere around here. Once price breaks and close past the structure again right there, what do you think is going to happen? It's going to push up even higher, right? So just keep that in mind. But this is pretty much how I've analyzed GJ, and this is how I see it playing out. So you can sit tight and wait how that plays out. I'm not sure if you're already in the position, Kendra, but if you are, if you're in a buy, then I think you're in a good position right now. So other than that, let me go back to US 30 real quick. Yeah, no other scalps available yet. We're looking for a rejection off the pivot and structure. The pivots are way up here, so there's just no entry available. But yeah, I think that's about it. So yeah, if you guys have questions, you guys can put them in the chat now. I can answer them because the market's kind of slowed down a bit. I'm going to set an alert here for a scalp. So when I get the alert, I'll take a look, but we don't have any alerts available right now. So we'll be going down the list and see if there's anything else for us to look at before this this sets up here. So let's go down the indices list again. So we got the Aussie 200 here. Some of you guys here located in Australia trade this. I'm not sure if I think Sam's here, Sam and Eonin. I think those are the two main K2 members from Australia. It looked like there's any entries here. So like I mentioned, we don't enter trades when price is consolidating, right? So it's choppy right here, no trades. But if there's some entries over here, we probably would have taken these trades over here. So looks like the first entry would probably be see this right here. Oops, delete that. So I'm just going to see if there's any entries here that were, possibly available. So like right here is a bullish move. Looks like the first valid entry would probably be, I don't know, somewhere like this, I guess. I mean, the market's choppy, so I wouldn't take these trades anyways. But if this was the case, I mean, this probably would have been the entry right here because it's bullish move, rejection off the pivot and structure right there, long position right there, straight to TP right there. So same strategy that we're applying here. Obviously it applies on all the other indices and other assets as well. But just looking at this here for the Aussie 2, if this ends up swinging down further, then this would be setting up for a sell scalp. So price comes up, rejects off pivot and structure right here, and catch it as it comes back down. But right now, there just isn't any entries because of the choppiness of the candles right now. So let's go over to the China 50. All right, let's see. It's not loading up. Give it a few. Hopefully it's not. Hopefully my chart didn't, my internet connection didn't go out again. All right, guys, I'm back. There always seems to be connectivity issues with YouTube and Zoom around this time, 8 o'clock, which is fine. Here, all right, so I'm back, guys. Let me go back to what I was looking at here. I think I was looking at the China 50, right? So let me just go back to the China 50 over here. And let me just refresh this. Jeff's asking what pivot are you using? So the pivots that we're using are the K2 pivots. These are the pivots that I created. They're dynamic pivots. They move with the price. So whenever price moves, they move with it. And that's the pivots that we're using. It's a custom indicator that I created right here, K2. Yeah, what's going on with the internet connection today, guys? All right, so I'm back. I don't know what's going on with the internet connection, but it keeps pulling me out. That's probably the Fed. The Fed doesn't want us to be taking these Dow trades. All right, guys. So hopefully we don't get disconnected again. If we get disconnected again, I'll try to reconnect. I'm hoping we don't get disconnected again. Usually it happens more than once. All right, we're back. So yeah, Jeff. So we trade on the 10-minute time frame here, but this strategy works on all time frames. It's not necessarily just a 10-minute. I mean, if you like to damn, look at the DAX dumped like crazy. This is why we don't trade around this time, guys, because market's just kind of crazy right now. But yeah, Jeff, we trade on the 10-minute here for this strategy, but you can use this on any time frame. It's not necessarily strictly a 10-minute. you can use it for like anything really. So if you want to use it on the 5 minute, 1 minute, 2 minute, 3 minute, it's really up to you what you feel like using. Yeah, Neptune said it's hair. He's messing with his connection, right? You know, it's funny because like some of the guys were messaging me yesterday, and they're like, you know, it's kind of stupid how Harry comes in here and like tries to talk that his ass, but like he's here copying my trades too. Like he's literally here copying my trades, and then he just starts saying like that the trades don't work. Like, all right, but you're still here copying my trades, but they don't work. Um, but it's all good. It's just funny. Everyone has like had something to say about him yesterday. But it was I think the funniest part yesterday, guys, was when Harry came back, and he came back with his real YouTube name. Like he didn't realize that he was using his real name. So he went from Harry Trader to Hardeep Singh. Like, bro, how do you go from Harry to Hardeep Singh? Like your names don't even match at all. But man, it was just funny. If you guys sat in on the live session yesterday, you guys would have seen, you know, what I'm talking about. But all right, so back to US 30 over here. It looks like it's coming back up. If it comes back up, it might provide for a possible scalp right here. So we'll see, you know, what happens from this point over here. Right, Neptune. You know, the funny part was I don't think he realized he came in with his like actual YouTube name, like his real YouTube name, because he was trolling. He comes in here with like a fake name, and then we kept banning him, so he came back with his real name. And it was just funny because his real name showed up. I was like, this dude's an idiot. Like he didn't realize that he went from Harry to Harvey. Like, bro, would you just come up with like a random like Western name to troll people? And then you come in with your real name, everyone's like, and he literally exposed himself. But anyways, going back to US 30 right here, there might be a sell scalp that becomes available right here off this green candle. We have 3 minutes left on this candle, so we'll see how this rejection happens. And then if it does close, we can take this for a possible sell scalp. But like I mentioned, this is a risky trade, guys. So I'm probably not going to take it, or if I do take it, it's going to be with a really small lot size. It's not going to be anything crazy because this. Jeff said when Harry met Sally. Too funny, bro. Too funny. Yeah, no, but yesterday's session was funny. Like he kept trying to distract us, but we kept winning. Like he kept talking in the chat, but every time he talked, it was like we hit another TP. So I was like, all right, cool. It's all good. Like instead of trolling the chat, he could have been taking the trades, but he was just too busy trolling. Ended up missing all the wins yesterday. All right, so we got. Damn. So I just got breaking news from CNBC. They said Morgan Stanley becomes the first big US bank to offer its wealthy clients access to Bitcoin funds. Wow. So there goes Bitcoin, man. Bitcoin's about to skyrocket again. Every time Bitcoin gets, you know, some sort of recognition, it just skyrockets even higher. So Bitcoin looks like it's dropping slightly right now, but I think after that news from Morgan Stanley, they're probably going to have some sort of bullish push, right? So I pulled up CNBC right here. So here we go. Morgan Stanley becomes the first big US bank to offer its wealthy clients access to Bitcoin funds. So if Morgan Stanley is now, you know, if they're co-signing Bitcoin, you know, this thing's probably going to push up probably for the next couple of weeks or so. So good thing for me, I bought some Bitcoin, so I'm going to catch that right up. And then we'll see how this ends up playing out. Let me see. So basically when I trade Bitcoin, guys, I look for the dips. I look for the zones right here. And when price dips to the next zone, I'll buy some more. So there's another zone right here. Another one down here. So I'll probably let it dip a little bit, or, you know, it might even shoot up from here. Not really shoot up, but it'll probably shoot up to like maybe 60,000 again. So I'll probably push up to here before it, you know, whatever happens from that point. But we'll see. But yeah, Morgan Stanley just co-signed Bitcoin. I mean, they've been trading Bitcoin, but this is kind of big where they're offering it to their wealthy clients. You know, they're not going to offer shitty assets to their wealthy clients. So that's going to be a game changer right there. Anyways, back to US 30. We have about 1:16 left on this candle. And then we will, Jay says, Shawn is so unbothered. It's hilarious how every time he's like, but anyways, Harry would be pissed. Yeah, I know it's funny because yesterday he kept talking, right? And I was like, anyways, let's take this trade. Ends up hitting TP. And then he just keeps talking and talking and talking. And we're just like, all right, bro, whatever. I'm focused on my money. I'm not focused on like the non-relevant stuff. We're here trying to make profits. So, trolls will be trolls and traders will be traders. So it's all good. Let's see, we got about 30 seconds left on this candle. There's no rejection off the pivot right there. So unless this closes down here, then there's not going to be an entry. Or if it rejects off that pivot, there might be an entry. But like I said, this is going to be a risky entry here because it's not a clean entry. Obviously, if you look at the pivots, it's still a bit choppy right there. But we'll see. So we got 12 seconds left on this candle. We'll see how this closes out right here. Let me just close that out. See how this pivot looks right there, that wick. We got 5 seconds left. We got 2 seconds left. No, so there's no entry there, right? So if I zoom in real quick, you guys can see that there's no wick rejection off the pivot right there. So the wick was down here, the pivot was up here. So no wick rejection, no entry, but we'll keep watching it. We'll see if there's anything else for us to possibly take. But just a reminder, guys, we're inching closer to FOMC. It's 8 o'clock right now. FOMC happens at 11. So we're like 3 hours away, but the market starts to get flat or it starts to get really choppy like an hour, 2 hours before the FOMC statement and their announcements later today. So like right here, yeah, they're going to be giving their economic projections. If you guys see all the memes with like J Powell, I'm sure some of you guys have seen those memes, right? It's always about J Powell. Let me see if I can find some right here. J Powell meme. All right, so like check this out. This is why we don't trade during FOMC, because the market is so like it gets so volatile around that time that like literally anything Jerome Powell says will affect the market, right? So like if you guys look at this here, there's a ton of memes about J Powell. Like say, like check this out here. Powell's like driving, and then the Dow 30 is dropping like 1,000 points, right? So this is why we don't trade around, around the Fed, because the Fed's going to speak. The Fed is J Powell. He's the U.S. Treasury. So like literally, there's so many memes here. See J Powell when he walks down the aisle of the Walmart, because this dude, like anything he says will affect the market like one way or the other. Like this right here. Like, are you winning, Dad? Hang on, son. The printer is almost back online. And like, for example, here, like when it's NFP week and J Powell is speaking, like, there's unemployment data, GDP growth negative, and he stops everything from getting pushed. So this is why we're careful around today. Today's a risky day to trade. And that's why I'm not really taking many trades. I already made a pretty decent profit for today. So I'm not really worried about missing any trades today, because I've already, locked in what I needed to for the day. So this is why we're careful right now. If you guys are wondering why I'm not like just hopping into trades like I normally do, it's because J Powell is going to speak in about 2 or 3 hours. Let's see. Jay said, do you think Bitcoin will be affected heavy by FOMC? I think it depends, Jay, because like a lot of people have been talking about Bitcoin being the new gold, right? Because like if you look at gold usually moves opposite of the dollar. So like for example here, if I pull up the dollar index and we look at gold over here, generally gold moves the opposite of the dollar. So for example right here, see how gold is kind of going down from this, or let me just go on the 1 hour since they're both on the 1 hour. So for example right here, gold is like slightly dropping, right? The reason why it's dropping right here is because the dollar is increasing in strength. So when the dollar goes up, gold goes down. When the dollar is going down, gold goes up, right? So for example here, if the Fed's speaking, it's going to directly affect the dollar, right? The DXY. So a lot of people have been mentioning that Bitcoin is becoming the new gold. So like when the dollar is going up, Bitcoin would go down. If the dollar goes down, Bitcoin will go up. Like, looking at Bitcoin over here, let me just pull it up. It's not necessarily there yet, but I mean, it's getting there, right? So like, for example, here, see how Bitcoin's going down right here? That's when the dollar's going up. So dollar's going up, Bitcoin's going down. Dollar's going down right here. Bitcoin's going up, right? So Bitcoin is becoming the new gold, like it's becoming the new gold standard where it's, you know, when it's paired against the dollar, if the dollar gets affected, the Bitcoin's going to get affected as well. So it's not official, but that's, you know, that's what the talk, like that's the talk now. That's what people have been saying, that Bitcoin and the dollar move opposite of each other, kind of similar to how gold does. So technically it probably could affect it, Jay, but I don't know. Like, honestly, I don't speculate like that where I try to trade, you know, off confluences where if like the dollar is going down, I'll trade gold, or if the dollar is going up, I trade Bitcoin. I don't trade like that, but if you want to look at it, that's how I would do it. Like I would recommend you pull up Bitcoin right next to the dollar, like side by side, and then just see how everything was moving. Because it's not directly correlated yet, but I think it's going to be eventually, you know, with time. Because Bitcoin is becoming the next safe haven currency, right? Everyone's putting the money into Bitcoin instead of putting their money into gold because they think that it's safe. So, I mean, like we'll see. I don't really mess with Bitcoin too much. I just buy and hold it. I don't necessarily like trade it actively. Spread's just too wide. But anyways, going back to US 30 over here, there might be a sell scalp right here, possibly. But this needs to close as a red bearish candle. So I'll follow up with you guys in the next 4 minutes, and we'll see how this ends up playing out from here. Blam said the candle looks mad strong. I don't know. Yeah, well, this candle looks strong right here, Blam, but this next one right here looks like a strong bearish candle, right? So we'll see. I mean, we got 4 minutes left on this candle, so we got a lot of time to determine whether it's going to be a sell scalp or not. But me and Jay, we have a bullish bias for US 30. Like there's a couple of reasons why we see a bullish bias for this. One reason is that we looked at the sentiment. Sentiment is 74% of people short. So these are the retail traders right here. If 74% of retail traders are short, what do you think is going to happen with the US 30? The institutions and market makers are going to spike it up to stop people out, right? So that's why we have a bullish bias here. But if we're scalping, I mean, we could scalp like little moves within this area. So if I do see this close right here, then maybe I'll take it with a small lot size. I'm not going to take it like, I'm not going to take a serious trade, but I mean, it's a possible entry if it ends up closing. So we got 3 minutes left on here. I'll take a look in the next 3 minutes. Otherwise, let me check the chat real quick to see if there's any questions. So if you guys have any questions, put them in the chat and I can answer them for you. If you guys have any pairs you guys want me to analyze, just put them in the chat and I'll take a look. Because as we get closer to FOMC, I'm probably going to hold off on trading anyways. So I'll be available to answer some questions for you guys. Anyways, so Jay said, my whole view on this Ponzi is that Bitcoin is not something solid or real like gold. Okay. You can't hold it physically like gold. And without the US dollar, there's no Bitcoin. Yeah, no, I mean, that's, you know, that's pretty much all cryptocurrency, right? Like all cryptocurrency is kind of it's all speculation. So like, there's so many coins. Like I see people investing in so many random coins, right? Like the main ones are obviously Bitcoin, XRP, Litecoin, Ethereum, stuff like that. But there's like so many coins that like me and you can create a coin. Like I can just be like, oh, I want to create a K² coin. And I can do that. Just have enough people buy into it. And then we create our coin, right? So like when there's so many coins, there's just like, it's like anyone can create their own currency. So that like kind of ties in with your view on, you know, how it being a whole Ponzi. So, I mean, yeah, it is a Ponzi for the most part, but if it's going to make me money, I'll keep trading it, right? I'm not going to knock something that I can make money off. But like I said, it's not something that I necessarily really trade that heavy. Like I probably have a couple $1,000 in Bitcoin. Let me check my Bitcoin real quick. Because the last time Bitcoin went up, I sold all my Bitcoin. And then when it dipped again, I bought it all back. So I made a pretty nice profit off it. I think the last time I made a couple thousand off that. And then now my Bitcoin's up like 1,300. I only put $500 in this when it dropped. Like right before Elon co-signed Bitcoin, like he co-signed Bitcoin and I put in $500 the day before and it went up to like 1,000. So I was like, all right, cool. But it's not something that I'm really messing with long term. Yeah, exactly. Like Jalon just said, he said they run off clout. So whoever can hype up the Bitcoin, that's how they get pushed up. Like, similar to Dogecoin. Who the hell buys Dogecoin? Uh, Aside from like a joke, and then it ends up spiking up because they spiked it up. Same with with all the other pumps, GameStop, AMC, stuff like that. Not necessarily there isn't really necessarily any hard data behind it pushing its strength. It's just supply and demand. All right, guys, so we got 30 seconds left on this candle right here. This is probably going to be a small little sell scalp. I'll probably take it with a small lot size, but I'm probably going to enter and exit like right away. I'm not going to really risk it. Or actually, this will need a close below. If there's a rejection from both sides, like for example, if this wick rejection is from the top and the bottom, it's not going to be a good trade. It's going to be too risky because it can go either way. So we got about 10 seconds left on this candle right here. Let's see if it closes. 5 seconds. 3, 2, 1. No entry. All right, no entry off that, guys. Reason for that's because there's an entry on both sides. So we have a wick rejection and structure rejection off the top and from the bottom. So if there's a rejection on both sides, that makes it extremely risky because price can go either way. It can go up or it can go down. So if you guys have been following my analysis all morning, it's doing exactly what I said, right? I said that price is probably going to range and go sideways up until the FOMC, when the Fed speaks later, when Jay Powell gets on the mic around this time. So we're probably not going to see any more trades for US 30 for a bit, guys. So if you guys have questions, put them in the chat so I can answer them right now, because it doesn't look like there's going to be very many entries. My profits for this week aren't bad so far. I'm up about, let's see. Yeah, I'm up 4,721 on this one account. On my funded account, it's a 100K account. So, just divide this by 2. So for that account, I made 2,360. So like with that said, that plus this account here, it's a total of 7,081.50. So I'm not really complaining about my profits so far. I'm happy with what I got. Like I locked in this from this morning, 317 at about 7:01 a.m. So I'm cool for today. I didn't take any losses. I have net positive profits. So I'm just chilling. If I see anything good, I'll take it. But if I don't, then I'm not going to take any trades. There's no point in forcing trades, especially on FOMC today, because this is probably just going to consolidate sideways until 11. And then at this point, price is either going to spike up or spike down. I'm hoping it spikes up so that our daily entry here could still play out. So if you guys sat in on the live session yesterday, this was the daily entry. Price just consolidated the entire day. It went sideways and ranged for how many hours now? It ranged for about a full 24 hours, right? About 23 hours and 30 minutes. And it hasn't really pushed up very much. We hit TP off this right here. So if you guys saw the updates in the chat, there was a, if you guys saw the updates in the chat, this hit TP right there for 750 pips. So that already hit. But other than that, it's just, it's just a sideways movement for the most part. So we'll see how this plays out. But if you guys do have questions or you guys want me to analyze anything, just put it in the chat. Just drop the asset, drop the, the time frame if there's a specific time frame, and just drop like whatever type of analysis you guys want me to look at. Because I can analyze anything from any perspective. If you guys want me to analyze it for an intraday, I could do that. If you guys want me to analyze it for a scalp, I can do that. If you want me to analyze it for a swing, I can do that as well. Just, feel free to put any questions in the chat, because right now I'm not really looking at any trades since we're getting too close to the Fed speaking in about a few hours now. Let's see. Yeah, they're speaking in about 2 hours. So I'm not really going to risk it unless I see a good scalp. If I see a good scalp, I'll hop onto that. But other than that, I'm just going to be sitting tight and I'll answer your guys' questions meanwhile. All right, so let me scroll up real quick. Jalon said, laughing at Dogecoin meme, army strong though. Exactly, right, Jalon? That Dogecoin is crazy when it spiked up. I kind of wish I hopped onto it, but it's all good. I'm glad for whoever made money off it, because that's probably not going to happen again for a while. Because now, like if you guys have noticed, it's a lot harder for them to pump stocks and pump any type of asset now because of all of the things that like the hedge funds have found, right? They're not going to let them screw up their little game plan anymore. So let's see. The first question is from Jasmine. Jasmine wants me to take a look at UK 100. So Jasmine, I'll do a top-down analysis. We'll start on the higher time frame, and then we'll go down to the shorter scalps after that. So let me just delete everything off here. I'll go on the 1 hour, turn off the momentum indicator, zoom out from this point. So here's a naked chart. First thing I do is I turn on the K2SR levels so we can identify the rejection points. So we got that right there. We got that right there. Another zone right there. That right there. Yeah, so it's kind of unfortunate that we were only able to catch one trade today, which is fine. I mean, one trade's better than no trades, right? And some profit is better than no profit. So I'm not really complaining about it, but I was kind of hoping we'd catch like maybe at least 2 or 3 trades before the FOMC. But anyways, looking at UK 100 right here, here are the zones. You guys can see that they're pretty nice zones because price broke into structure, consolidated, broke up, consolidated. Now it's still stuck in like, some consolidation here. So I'm going to turn on the momentum indicator now and identify the bias. So right here, we have a sell bias. Obviously, you can see we have a rejection from this point up here. We have a sell signal right here. Now what we'd be looking for is for price to break and close past the structure down here. Once price breaks and closes past the structure right here, then it'll probably keep dropping from this point. So we have a sell bias for this right here, Jasmine. This is the 1 hour. I'm going to go down to the scalp 10-minute now, and then I'll analyze it from there to see if there's any scalps that are available at this specific time. So let me go ahead and turn on the K2SRs. All right. So looking at this right here, let's turn this off. Looks like there's a couple scalps that were available right here, Jasmine. So like earlier, I don't know if you caught this right here, but this looks like a perfect sell scalp right there. So if I replay it to here, this was not that long ago. It was about an hour ago. So I'm not sure if you caught this, Jasmine. You probably did, probably didn't. But for example, this red candle right here, we had a wick rejection off the pivot and the structure. So with that said, you enter a short position right here. I'm not sure what the sweet spot is because I don't trade this. I'm assuming it'd be around like 150. Seems like the sweet spot there. If you let that run, looks like it would have hit full TP right there. So if you took that trade, that would have been a full TP, Jasmine. Right here for this current candle, if you guys want to take this, we got about 3 minutes left on this candle. So if this ends up wicking off this pivot and structure, so we do have the rejection off the structure already. The next thing we need is just the wick rejection off the pivot. So if it rejects off this orange pivot right here, then this would provide for another sell entry, right there. But until that closes, there just isn't an entry. So Jasmine, if you want to watch this for the next 2 minutes, see when it closes. If it closes and it touches the pivot, then you're good to go. If it doesn't, then there's no entry there. But if it does, then you can take that and drop this down again for another 150 pips or so, depending on what your sweet spot is. Because the pivots right here seem like it's at only 50 pips. So I think 150 might be the better sweet spot right there. So yeah, just keep that in mind. Jasmine, take a look in the next 2 minutes to see how it plays out. I'll pull it back up if we have time. But I think the next thing I'm going to look at is the next question here. So let's see. Kendra said, I'm still in the US 30 buy from yesterday with small profit. Should I hold through news since the overall outlook is a buy or just close? So for me, Kendra, I would close in profit because you know how I trade. I'm conservative. I don't like to trade risky trades. Like I don't gamble these trades. That's why my win rate's so high here at K2 because I only take good trades. I don't take risky trades that are like maybes. I only take trades that I know are for sure. So if you're asking me personally, I would close it out in profit, maybe re-enter later if you really wanted to, because I could see if you're still in this position right here, you're still in profit. Or what you can do is you can move your stop loss in profit. However, if you move your stop loss in profit, you're probably going to get kicked out anyways, because the market's just going to be bouncing back and forth between this area until the FOMC. So if you move your stop loss in profit, you're going to get kicked out in profit. You might as well just close out in profit right now. But just looking at this, like this could, I mean, technically it could push up. Like all the news points to the upside, right, Kendra? But you know, like I was mentioning, just because the news pushes up, it doesn't mean that it's gonna go up, right? It could go up, but there's no guarantee that it's gonna push up there. So it's really up to you, Kendra. For me personally, I'd close out in profit right now, and then just wait for more entries because you know this isn't like your whole life doesn't depend on this one entry, right? So like that's what I always remind people, like don't get married to a position, right? If you see a position, if it doesn't look good to you anymore, just pull out of your position. Because that's the main thing. If you guys aren't sure about your position, you're going to be sweating the whole time and you're going to be worried. And that's going to be worse on you if you're just stressed out all the time watching a specific trade move out. So I personally would close out, Kendra, but if you want to hold on to it, feel free. Just understand the risk. Understand that you had money on the table and it was your decision to hang on to it if it goes your way or if it doesn't. So at that point, you're just gambling. So yeah, it's up to you. But me personally, I'd probably close out of it. So Jasmine, looking at UK 100, there's no entry there. So this wick never touched the pivot. So no entry off of that right now. But I'll take a look at it later if we have time to see if there's another entry that plays out because it might reject off this pivot right here. If that happens, you can take that trade. All right, so let me go back to this real quick. Yeah, sure, no problem, Jasmine. Jalon said, yo, I made 200 off that Bitcoin news you was talking about 20 minutes ago. Nice, bro. Yeah, pushed up, right? So it pushed up a little bit right there. Yeah, if you guys followed my analysis earlier, I identified this news from Morgan Stanley where they basically co-signed Bitcoin. They're now going to offer, the wealthy clients access to Bitcoin funds. So, with them endorsing Bitcoin, it's going to push Bitcoin up. So I have some Bitcoin right now. Let me see if my Bitcoin went up as well. Let's see, Bitcoin. Nice. Yeah. I made about 200 bucks off that too. Jalon. I was like, I put in 500 bucks. I was at like 1,100 this morning and now I'm at like 1,400. So it pushed up from there. So it looks good for the most part. And he's back to US 30. Yeah, Kendra, it does look good. Like you mentioned, it's probably gonna keep pushing up, but like I mentioned, it's just gonna be a risky hold. So you can hold it if you want. If not, it's all good. All right, next question is from Funky. Funky wants me to take a look at gold on the 10-minute. All right, Funky, so let's pull that up real quick. All right, Funky, we got gold right here. Let me pull up the, damn, some huge wicks right there. I probably would not mess with gold today because this is going to be directly affected with the FOMC. That's probably why you see all these weird movements, right? So if you look at gold here, gold has been moving weird like the entire week. So this is normal gold movement. Normal gold movement is when it's actually moving, right? So for example, here, it goes down. That's normal movement. It goes up, normal movement. Consolidation, choppiness, normal movement up here, normal movement down here. So you guys can see how gold moves normal, right? This is normal movement. You go gold right now, this is not normal movement. It's just choppiness all throughout the entire day, especially today. This whole area right here is a mess because you can see that price is ranging from down here. Like you can see, these are 10-minute candles. So price pushes from down here all the way up here for like 105 pips, right? 105 pips in 30 minutes. That's a lot of pips. So I would probably not mess around with this over here. Bitcoin said it's funky, not funky. Oh, is it funky? Sorry, funky. I've been calling you funky this whole time, funky, and you never corrected me. So sorry if I was pronouncing your name wrong. I don't know if it's funky or funky. But yeah, I guess it's funky because Bitcoin just corrected me. Thanks for correcting me, bro. But yeah, my bad. Funky. I wasn't sure that I was mispronouncing your name. But anyways, let me go back to this over here real quick. So we got this right there. So yeah, if we're looking at the most recent entry, I'm just going to look at the most recent because everything else is kind of irrelevant. It's just choppy over there. If we're looking at the most recent entry, because right here, this is where price currently is. And this would have been the entry right here. Since we have the rejection off the pivot in the structure, let me just replay it from there. All right, so just looking at this here, this red candle, we have a wick rejection off the pivot and structure. So this would be the entry here. we'd enter a short position right there. And, you know, like I mentioned before, guys, I don't trade gold, so I don't know what the sweet spot is, but I'm assuming it'd be something like this right here, right? So with that said, if we were to take this trade, looks like it would have, it would be currently in profit right now. So this is the most recent scalp for gold. But like I was mentioning, I probably wouldn't mess with gold right now. It's just too choppy for us to really, you know, take advantage of these moves here, especially with the Fed coming up in the next hour and a half. So that's pretty much the analysis for the gold scalp right there. If you decided to take that funk. All right, so that's it with that. Next question is U.S. oil from Jay. So let's pull up U.S. oil real quick, Jay. So let me go over to U.S. oil right here. So that's UK oil. So here's U.S. oil on the 1 hour. I'm going to zoom out. I'm going to take everything off the chart. All right, Jay. So we got this right here. Empty chart. First thing I do is turn on this K2SR indicator. Pull up the zones right there. We got one right over here. One over here. Right there. We got another one right over here. Pull this down to that point. All right, cool. So US oil right there. Jalon is asking if I do stock analysis. I mean, I can. The same strategy works on everything, Jalon. It's not just Forex. Like, you can use this on all assets. You can use this on Forex. You can use it on commodities. You can use it on indexes, futures. I mean, you name it. You know, it's the same thing. Like, technical analysis doesn't change. It just depends on, you know, what you're looking at and what time frame. So yeah, I could do a stock analysis if you have a specific one that you want me to look at, Jalon. So let me go back to this right here, US oil. And this is what I like about this, right? Because people here in K2 come from different backgrounds. Like, some people here trade stocks, some people trade futures like oil, some people trade, you know, Bitcoin, like cryptos like Bitcoin, XRP. And my same analysis here works for everything. So you guys can see here, I did the same analysis that I did for GJ on a US oil and for gold as well. And you guys can see that it still lines up perfectly, right? These zones don't change. Technical analysis is always going to be the same for the most part, unless you're trading something that's really, really like that moves super crazy. But anyways, looking at US oil here, after we have these zones drawn up, I turn on the momentum indicator so that we can identify the direction of momentum. So it looks like price actually started from like way up here. So rejection from that point, sell signal right here. And then it drops down to this point right here, right? Same situation, price break structure, comes down, retest, and then it drops, right? So it's the same pattern, it just keeps repeating itself. But looking at this here, so this move right here actually started from right here. So it started from right here. We had the sell signal. What happened from that point is it dropped down, retraced up for a break and retest. It didn't necessarily reach the entire structure up there, but then it came right back down from here. So there's another rejection off this point, Jay. And then we got a sell signal right here. So at this point, the most recent signal is a sell signal, right? It's indicating a momentum swing downwards. So with that said, we have a bearish bias. So we're only looking for sells here. And what I would wait for is for price to break and close past its structure, right? So if price breaks and closes past its structure, then price is probably going to keep dropping even further down there. Looking at this, the same pattern over here actually played out a couple days ago on the 9th. So looking at the same pattern right here, you can see that we have a sell signal right here. And then when price broke and closed past the structure right here, it pushed down to here, right? So it's the same pattern, right? We have the sell signal right here, sell signal right here. We're just waiting for it to break and close past the structure. Once it breaks and closes past that structure, it drops down to the next structure right here. So I would look at this from a sell bias. If you're looking at this right now, Jay, obviously same pattern right here. It's the same exact pattern. Sell signal, break and close, and then it drops down there. The real move will be down here though. So you want this to actually break and close past here, because you can see that price attempted a break and close past here before. It failed. Again, right here, it failed. And then it shot all the way back up, right? But imagine when price does break and close past here, this is going to be like its third or fourth attempt, right? So one attempt here. So here's 1, 2, 3. think about the fourth one right here. If it finally breaks and closes past the structure on that fourth attempt, this thing's probably going to come down pretty heavy, right? So that's kind of what I'm looking for here, Jay. I mean, I have a sell bias here, but I'm not completely convinced, right? You want to be completely convinced when you take these trades, because it just becomes risky if you just hop in. Like for example, right here, if you hop in, you're like, oh, it's going to drop. It can reject at any point. Like if you enter a sell right here, you're probably going to get screwed, because what could happen here is price can reject off this point, shoot all the way up, hit your stop loss, or price can come down even further, reject off this point like it did over here, and hit your stop loss, right? So just looking at this here, I mean, there's too many risky scenarios that can play out. So I personally would just wait for it to close below this structure before taking that. Unless you want to take a small scalp off this, if it closes below here, you can probably cop a little scalp right here. Because like, for example, on this, it dropped maybe about, I don't know what this would be considered. I don't know if this is 32 points. I think this is the future. So it's probably 32 points, which is equivalent to like 370 pips. So, I mean, you could catch that if it closes below there, but it's just not enough space for me, right? I don't want to take a trade and then it's too risky for me to really breathe, for this specific entry there. So that's my analysis for oil. And yeah, that's about it for there. Let me go back to US 30 real quick. Damn, Kendra. So like you were mentioning, right? See how it was pushing up? It's still pushing up. So I don't know if you decided to hold on to it or if you closed it, but if you decided to hold on to it, you've made like way more profit right here again as well. So it looks good for the most part. Let me go over to US 30 on the scalp, see if there's any scalps that were available now. No, nothing yet. Now we need price to come down and retest the structure, this pivot. So I'm going to set an alert there to let me know when it comes down and touch the pivot, because then we could possibly take some buy scalps, as we get closer to that area. All right, cool. I'm going to go to UK 100 real quick. Jasmine said that there's finally a rejection off it. Let me see. UK 100. There we go. Yeah, so it did get that rejection right there, but I think this would be a risky trade, Jasmine. I mean, if you want to take it, you can, but I personally would just hold off on it. It just looks too risky for me. But yeah, if you wanted to take that trade, this would be it right there. But it really depends. Like your risk tolerance is probably a lot more relaxed than mine, because I'm trading a bigger account, so I don't want to risk losing money off this. But if you're trading a smaller account, you're taking like smaller positions, this is fine. You can probably test it out if you want. But this would have been that entry right there, Jasmine, if you decided to take this. But like I mentioned, it's kind of risky. If you want to take it, I recommend taking with a small lot size. Don't take too big of a lot size, because the FOMC is happening in a few minutes or in 2 hours. Right here, 11. So at this point in time, this is when Jay Powell speaks. And that's going to be in about a little under 2 hours from now. All right, so let me go back to my charts, see if there's anything else over here before I continue. Yeah, no, it's fine, Funke. Yeah, I just saw your message, Funke. Yeah, no, definitely. I would have corrected it if I knew, but now I do. So I'm not gonna call you Funky anymore. I always thought Funky sounded kind of weird, so I was like, I'm pretty sure that's probably not how you pronounce it, but I was never corrected. So thanks for correcting me, guys. All right, so the next question here is going to be from Utic. Utic wants me to take a look at GU real quick. He's trading a long, so I'll take a look at that for 1 second, and then we can move forward with it. Let's see. All right, cool. So let me just go back to GU real quick. GU for a long. Damn, this is tough, Utic, because you're in a long, and the Fed's going to speak in about. So I think this is risky to be in a long right now, Utic. The reason for that's because the Fed's going to speak in about a few hours, like in 2 hours, and I feel like they're going to say something good. Like what they're going to say is going to be good for the U.S. economy. So if it's good for the U.S. economy, then this is probably going to dump. But don't just focus on that, right? Because the thing is that if that's what everyone thinks, that's probably not what's going to happen. like this is what we think is going to happen. But what's going to happen is it'll probably do the opposite. It'll probably spike up slightly and then it'll dump, right? Because the thing is, you gotta look at this from a psychological perspective, right? If everyone thinks the US dollar is going to be strong and everyone's shorting the US dollar, they're going to stop all those people out first, spike it up. Once they're stopped out, then they drop it. So you might be fine if you're in for a buy, but I would be really careful. I'd probably, like me myself, I would not be holding a GU trade right now or in either direction. But anyways, looking at this here, here's a naked chart. I'll analyze this from scratch so you guys can see what I'm looking for, or how I drew all those zones and stuff. So here's the K2SR indicator. I'm going to go ahead and draw my zones real quick for you guys. Right there. Right there. Right there. Right there. There, and then again down here. So we got all these zones drawn up. Once we have that, I'll take this off the chart, zoom out again. You guys can see we have some perfectly drawn zones here, right? So the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna turn on the momentum indicator. So right here, we have a bearish momentum. So we have a rejection from this point right here. Sorry, let me just fix that. Yeah, we have our rejection right here. We have the sell signal right here. So this is why I would have a sell bias, because the most recent signal was a sell signal right here. So rejection, sell signal. And then what happens, as I always tell you guys, right? When we have a rejection, sell signal, break and close past structure, what happens? Price pushes down to the next structure, right? It does the same thing over and over again. You guys can go both ways. For example, here at rejection, buy signal, what happens from that point? It retests the structure, but it pushes up to the next structure right here. So it's the same pattern that just keeps repeating itself. If you guys know the K2 strategies and you guys know how I analyze the charts, it's like clockwork, guys. It's the same thing over and over again. So anyways, going back to here, we have a sell bias. So it was, basically a break and retest. Price broke structure, retested, and it dropped. So just looking at current price right now, UTIC, I personally would wait for this. Oh, let's see. So UTIC said, thanks, bro. I'm actually short on GU. Yeah, perfect. Yeah, so UTIC for this right here, I probably would want to catch it as it closes below. Well, I mean, if you're already in a sell, this is probably going to be our goal here, right? This is what I would want. So if you're in a sell already, that's fine. But for me to enter the sell, I would want it to close below here so that I can catch that for a clean drop right here. But if you're in a sell already, you should be fine. I think the risky point in this is when the news happens. So the news is going to happen like literally right here. Yeah, so the news is going to happen on the next candle. So on the next candle right here, UTIC, this is probably you're going to see some crazy movement, because depending on what the Fed says, which is probably going to be beneficial for the US dollar, it's probably going to spike around. It'll probably go up, then it'll go down, or it might go up slightly. I think they'll probably spike it up just to scare some people. And then once that happens, they're going to drop it all the way back down. But we'll see. This is going to be a manipulated market. Like once price reaches once we get to the Fed, that's where price is going to start to get manipulated, because there's just a lot of stuff that can play out from that point. Like price doesn't always move in the direction of news. Usually it moves opposite, and then it moves in the direction after. So just keep in mind when you watch it, UTIC. But I think you're fine for that sell. I think overall it's going to drop. But what I'm worried for you more specifically is just holding it during the news. I mean, it could be a double-edged sword, right? It can go in your direction or it can go against you. So we'll see. Hopefully you don't have too big of a lot size. I would probably close out like partial of your position so you don't risk too much. And then you can still, ride the position whether it goes in your direction or not. But that's basically what I see happening here. I have a sell bias, so you're fine for that sell. It's just I'm worried about the news that's coming up in the next 2 hours or so. All right, Kyle said, anyone take that UK 100 entry? Let's check it out. I mean, I didn't, but let's see. I don't know if Jasmine did. It just looked too risky for my end. So yeah, see how risky it was right there? It spiked up a little bit. Yeah, I probably wouldn't have taken it because like even though the Fed's directly affecting the US market, it's going to affect the UK 100 too. It's going to affect all the indices, not just US 30. But damn, look at this right here. Kendra, I'm not sure if you're still on here, but hopefully you held on to it and you like held on to your guts for your analysis for that buy. Because that's what I mean, guys. If you guys have a bias and you guys know, like you guys have a feeling price is going to go a certain direction, then hold on to it. You know, you don't have to listen to what I'm telling you. I'm just giving you my advice of what I would do. But I'm a careful trader, so I probably would. I probably wouldn't have held on to it at that point because I would have been happy with like 500 pips right here. But if you held on to it, you're up another 500 pips. You're up at like 1,000 pips at this point. So yeah, nice work, guys. Let me check this real quick. Nice. So Lee said he just caught another buy off that. So he caught one more scalp. He's done for now. The news coming up. So he made 354 today. So nice work, Lee. Great work off those profits right there. So there's a couple different, like a lot of people ask about this a lot, about this little heat map right here. This is FinViz, but there's a couple other apps you can use too. Like when I first started trading stocks a long time ago, there was a couple apps that you can use for this. It's like heat wave map or something like that. Let's see if there's anything else here. See, David took a, oh no, David took a sell for US 30, man. Oh, he closed already. Okay, perfect. I thought I was just looking at that right now. I was like, damn, he took a sell. That thing shot up like crazy. So yeah, good thing you closed out of that, David. Because I would have been like, damn, you would have been like, yeah, you took it right from the bounce. But yeah, if you close it out, I think you should be good for the most part. Let's see. All right, cool. Let's look into the messages real quick, see if I see anything over there. All right, so going back to what I was looking at earlier. Let's go back to US 30. I'm looking for any possible scalps before we enter the news event. Now, it's pushed up too high. I don't think there's going to be any scalps available for it. I'm thinking about just taking a speculative buy. Maybe, I don't know. Yeah, I'm kind of tempted to enter trade. All right, screw it. Let me go to the 1 minute. I'm going to pull up Patricia here. Patricia on this 1 minute. I don't know how Patricia does it, man. She has some thick skin to be trading like this. Some of you guys trade off this 1 minute. That's crazy. I don't know how you guys do it, but you guys make profit off it, so it works, obviously. All right, let me see. It's way past. Yeah, and this green pivot is touching the body, so it wouldn't be an entry there. But it looks like this would have been a decent entry right here. Nah, way too risky. It's been spiking around so much right here. Actually, this is the 30 minute. Oops. Let me go on the 1 minute. There we go. Okay, this looks way better. So yeah, I'm gonna pull a Marcus here, trading on the 1 minute. Let's see. Actually, there were like no entries here anyways. Even if I was on the 1 minute, it doesn't look like we would have caught it. Well, I wouldn't have caught anything. You guys might have saw something, but I didn't see anything here necessarily. Yeah, unfortunately not. And it's already at a resistance, so I wouldn't even take that trade in that situation anyways. All right, so it looks like I'm not going to hop into these buys right now. But that was a nice push up right there. It's at resistance now, though. So if it breaks above it, then possibly. But if it doesn't, then damn, yeah, this zone got a lot bigger. I'm not messing with US 30. You guys can mess with it if you want, but I'm not going to mess with it myself. Nice, nice. So Lee's right here in the chat. So yeah, Lee said I caught my scalps on the 5 minute. Nice. So I'll take a look at that real quick on the 5 minute. So yeah, guys, you can see here that like, if you figure out something that works, keep using it, right? You don't have to listen to everything I tell you, because in a lot of situations, there's a lot of entries that are available on different time frames, like the 5 minute. Oh, nice, Lee. Yeah, nice, nice. I see your entry right here. So you definitely locked in some good ones over here. Let me see what you took. Yeah. Nice. Yeah, it looks like you took a couple buys here. So it looks like you took mostly buys. So there's a couple buy entries that were available here. Let me just mark this up right here. Yeah, so it looks like you only took buys. So I'm looking at your chart here. It looks like you took a bunch of buys right there. You had a small loss, but the rest of them are wins. So like with that said over here, it looks like you caught a couple buys over here. Let me see what you took. Looks like you had a couple entries right here. So there's like a bunch of entries right here for some buys. So you probably took this last one right here. That would have hit full TP over there, 500 pips. So that's probably one of your trades that you took there. There's a couple other ones right here as well. There's a lot of trades here actually. So yeah, nice work off that, Lee. Lee killed it. That consistency. The real key here is consistency, guys. As long as you like stack up your wins and you minimize or eliminate, majority of your losses, you should be able to be killing it either way. So yeah, if we were to take this trade right here too, it's probably another one that could have hit full TP off that. So nice work off that, Lee. Definitely glad to see everyone in K² profit, even though I'm missing those trades. As long as you guys are hitting these, you guys are good to go for the most part. All right, so let me go back to the chat, see if I missed anything else before I continue on. Let's see, Jalan said, look at NPX. I found it a week ago. It was once over 15K, now like $1. Do you think it'll be worth the swing back up? Oh, I don't mess with those. Let me just look it up real quick. So Jalan's asking about INPX. Yeah, when there's a big drop like this, there's probably something that caused that drop. So yeah, this thing doesn't move smooth at all. Jalan, let me see this real quick. All right, 30-minute, 10-minute. Let me see if we can even draw zones on this. Like, it works better on like blue chip stocks, like stocks that actually move smoothly, like Tesla, Facebook, stuff like that. Because if you're trading these penny stocks, this is all speculation right here. Like you'd have to look at the news, like look at the actual news for this specific stock to see like any hints that price is probably going to go up, right? Because yeah, these penny stocks are just a gamble, honestly. Like I used to trade penny stocks. That's where I started. I started trading with penny stocks. And you get lucky every so often, but there's no guarantee that it's going to continue. Like you might get trapped in this position if they like file for bankruptcy or something. Let me see. I'm trying to see the, oh, here we go, NPX. So it looks like their earnings were, they're in the negative, but negative 18. Like they haven't made profit in a long time, it looks like. That's why they've been getting dumped. Yeah, their number has been horrible. I wouldn't mess with this at all, Jalan. Just looking at the information here. So if you guys have TradingView, you guys can see this stock right here. For the month, it's been moving negative 40%. So people are just shorting it. And if you look at their net income is negative 27 million in 2016, 2017. Net income is negative 35 million, negative 24 million, negative 33 million, bro. Yeah, don't mess with this, Jalan. Please don't mess with this, bro. Because if you just look at the actual numbers here, like I don't see this recovering at all. They've been in business since 2016 and haven't made $1. The revenue is 6.3 million, but their net income is negative 33. Every year they've been in the negative. So I wouldn't mess with this at all. Jalan, if you mess with this, you might as well just throw your money away at that point. Or if you can short it, you can short it, but I would not buy this company. They haven't been successful at all since 2016. They've had a long time to bounce back, and they haven't bounced back at all. So I wouldn't mess with it, Jalan. You know, when you're analyzing stocks, like obviously you can see that the zones work, right? We drew the zones here and they work perfectly fine. It looks like it was pumped, like whoever pumped it in February, they pumped it up and then they sold it off. And then here you go back down here. But this company sucks. Like, I don't know where you found this company, but it's complete trash. They haven't, yeah, bro, look, check this out, man. They haven't made any profit in like 16, we're in 2021. They haven't made profit in like in 5 years. Like a company like this should just go bankrupt, honestly, unless this is just some sort of unless this is just a shell company for another company. But their profit margin is negative 539%. So I for sure wouldn't mess with this, Jalan. So keep as far away from this stock as you can, unless you're scalping, unless you're shorting it. If you're shorting it, then yeah, cool. But I would not buy this stock. Unless you have some sort of insider information that gives you a hint to take it, then yeah, take it. If not, I would steer far and clear from it. All right, anyways, let me go back up real quick and see if there's anything else to look at. Hey, what's up, Smokes? Morning, bro. All right, so I'm going down real quick. Funky is asking, is there a buy entry on the DAX 10-minute? So Funky, let me check out your DAX real quick on the 10-minute. Yeah, so I mean, there is a buy here. Let me see if there's any other zones here. There is a buy here, but like I mentioned, this is going to be a risky trade because the Fed is going to be speaking within the next 1 or 2 hours. But anyway, just looking at this here, there's a couple buy entries that are available right here. There's one right here, and then there's one right here. And there's one down here as well. So there's 3 buy entries that were available here, Funke. But looking at this one right here, this was one as well here, but I probably wouldn't mess with it just because of the Fed speaking soon. More so because the DAX mirrors US 30. So if it mirrors US 30, and if US 30 gets affected by the news, the DAX is probably going to be affected too. So yeah, this would be a buy entry here. Funky, so you did identify a good entry. It's just with the news coming up soon, I probably would stay away from it, at least for the next couple hours, at least until like Asia session, because we're probably going to see some unusual movement from now up until the end of US session, because Powell's probably going to speak for like 2 hours. So like 11, 12, 1, at that point, the market's going to be closed. So that's pretty much what we see there. Heriberto's asking if I'm going to be live during the Fed talk. So I'm probably going to go offline. Heriberto, the reason for that's because I know myself, and if I'm watching the chart and it starts to move crazy during the Fed, I'm probably going to want to take some trades, right? So I'm going to log off probably before that because I don't want to force any trades. I already know myself. Like I always tell myself I'm not going to trade during news. But when the Fed starts speaking and I see price spike up and down, I'm going to enter some trades and I'm going to make some mistakes. So I don't want to mess up my winning streak for the week. So I'm probably going to log off like maybe in the next 30 minutes to an hour. So if you guys have any questions, this is the best time to ask me questions because I'm not looking for trades at this time for me personally. But I can look for trades for you, and I can also analyze whatever you guys want me to, since I don't like to trade during news. So let me go back to the chat, see if I'm missing anything else here. Nice. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, Lee said, I'm done for the day and heading out now. Thanks for the education and scalp calls. Have a good day. Have a good one, mate. Yeah, definitely, Lee. I'll see you tomorrow or later today if you're on during the Asia session. So see, Jonathan said, hey, Shawn, have you found the bigger your account balance, the more conservative your trades are? Yeah, definitely, Jonathan. because it's more so about quality over quantity, right? Like I see you guys take like 20 trades a day, right? And you guys can see from me here this week, I've only taken how many trades? I've only taken 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I've only taken 6 trades this week, but they have all been wins. So when you have a bigger account balance, Jonathan, you start to trade a lot more conservatively because you're more so focused on risk management and you're more focused on just locking in wins and eliminating losses. Because that's what it really is. Like once you have a bigger account, your profits are bigger. Like even if you take smaller position, like you take smaller moves. Like for me, if I'm trading like a standard lot and I'm taking 500 pips, that's going to be like $500, right? On FTMO. So like when you have a bigger account balance, you start to be more cognizant of like what you're shooting for, because you start to get less and less greedy because you understand that like you can make or you can lose money like rather quickly with the bigger account. So I definitely like it's a skill that you have to build. Like when I first started trading with FTMO, I never traded an account that was that big before. So it took me a while to get used to it. But after a while, Jonathan, you get everything just comes together and you start to understand risk management for that specific account size. Because a lot of you guys go from like $100 account to like $1,000 account, and then you do FTMO and you get $100,000 account, and then you're like, damn, how do I trade this, right? But once you trade it long enough, you'll start to figure out what's proper risk when trading that account size. All right, so let's see. Another question from Jalon. Jalon's asking, for your 100K funded, what's your lot size? So for my daily entry, Jalon, because it's a bigger move, it's 1,500 pips, right? For this daily entry right here, I only take one lot. And that one lot is equivalent to a mini lot for normal brokers. So on FTMO, a 100 is me equivalent to a 0.10 on a regular broker. So for these daily moves, I take about a one lot. And then for the scalps, like these little 500 pip moves here, I take about a 0.250 or a 0.25. Or I mean, I guess it would be considered a 2.5, but for a normal account, it'd be 0.250. So for example, for those scalps, if I'm taking a 2.5, so for example, it's going to be about 2.5, it's about 25 cents a pip times 500. Oh no, sorry, that's not right. So if I'm taking a 2.5, that's $2.50 per pip, right? Times 500. So I'm making about 1,200 per trade off the 100K count, taking a 2.5 lot size. That's how you do the math. And you just got to keep in mind that your max loss is 5,000. So 5,000 divided by 1.250 for the day. Oh, sorry. So 5,000 divided by 1.250. You have 4 opportunities to scalp, to take these scalps per day. And we don't usually have back-to-back losses or like losses in general that are like heavy enough to really affect your account. So this is what I mean about using proper risk. If you're taking like 2 scalps a day, 2.5 lot size is fine. But if you're taking a bigger size, like for example, 2.5 times 1,500 pips, that's a bigger risk right there. So that's why I only take a one lot for the 1,500 pip move, because I'm only risking 1,500, right? It kind of matches up with my scalp moves. So that's pretty much what I use on my 100K. And then obviously for my 200K, you just double up on that. Yeah, that's your max loss, though, Jalal. I'm talking about the daily loss, because you can't take that many losses in one day. So that's one thing a lot of people forget about. There's a daily loss max, and a lot of people go past that and they're like, "Oh, what happened?" And they go back and look and they're like, "Oh, you tripped your daily loss." Your max loss should never be on your mind. Your main focus should be on the daily loss, because that's usually what gets people. It's that daily loss that causes them to lose their accounts. All right, let me scroll down a little bit. All right, cool. So Jasmine wants me to take a look at NASDAQ for a sell. Let's see, US 100. Yeah, US 30 is about to hit full TP off that daily entry yesterday. Looks pretty solid. So we'll let that play out. But anyways, back to US. Oh, Jalan said it's 10K on drawdown too. Oh, because you're doing the aggressive, right? You might as well have done the 200K, Jalan, because you would have had a bigger account. Because the aggressive and the 200K on FTMO is the same thing. You just have less money now. So you probably should have just did the 200K if you have that set up, because you would have you'd have more capital to trade. Or you probably did it before. You probably did it before the 200K account came out. Because if you look at the so if you go to FTMO, let me just show you real quick. If you go to FTMO, the 100K and 200K are the same thing. That it's just your risk becomes higher. So if you look here, Jalan, so check this out. I'm assuming you're on the 100K aggressive, right? So 100K aggressive, your daily loss would be 10K. But if you go to 200K, it's the same thing. So it doesn't really make a difference, and they cost the same amount. See, it's 1,080 euros. The 200K is the same price. So you probably should have just went for the bigger account. I'm assuming you probably did this before this was available, because this wasn't available till like a couple weeks ago. So if you look at the settings here, it's the same exact thing. 200K. Here, let me see if I can pull up side-by-side charts. All right, so we got the 100K right here. I'm just gonna scroll this up a little bit. And then I'm gonna put this over here. So I'm assuming you probably did this before the 200K was available, right? I'm hoping you did, because the thing is, if it's going to be harder for you to scale if you have the aggressive, because if you have the 200K, like check this out, this is 200K, this is 200K normal, and this is 100K aggressive. See the terms? It's exactly the same, but you can't scale. Like if you're going to scale the 100K, it's going to take you longer to scale that. You might as well go for the 200K, because then you could keep scaling that. If you're consistent, they'll keep letting you scale your account higher and higher. But yeah, I don't know if you noticed that, Jalan, for those two. Oh, you're on funding talent. That's why funding talent's different. Yeah, no, I see what you're saying now. Yeah, I can see what you're saying now. All right, let me scroll back up real quick and see what else I'm missing over here. All right, so the NASDAQ. Sorry, I'm going to go back to NASDAQ real quick. Yeah, so there's a NASDAQ sell right here, Jasmine. Let me check that real quick. But like I was mentioning with the Fed speaking soon, I probably would have messed with it because of, here, let me just zoom everything out, take everything off the chart. I wouldn't mess with it because of the, or actually there's no sell here for the NASDAQ yet. I'm not sure where that lower zone came from. But looking at current price right now, I don't see any zones down here, Jasmine. The most recent zone would have been up here. The most recent zone would have been right there. Or I mean, the most recent entry, sorry, not the most recent zone. The most recent entry would have been up there, and that would have hit TP already right here. I think the sweet spot for this is like 500 pips. Same as a US 30. So yeah, looking at this right here, Jasmine, that would have been the first entry. I don't see any zones down here below. I just turned on my zones real quick. I don't see anything down here, so I don't see any entries available at this specific time. I don't know where those lower zones came from. I had some lower zones there, but I'm not sure where I got those from. All right. Yeah, Jasmine said, same, I'm done for today. Can't mess up my streak either. Yeah, definitely. I agree. I agree. Okay, Itra Ding's asking, would you check gold for the rest of the week? So I already have gold here. I may check gold every day. So I already looked at gold. I'll just show you the same analysis I gave earlier. Right here, we have a sell bias for gold. We have a rejection from this point. We're looking for a sell signal to appear. And then as it appears, we're going to wait for it to close below here to take that sell. So this is the analysis for gold right now, Itra. So this will probably play out by the end of the week. If it plays out, there's no guarantee it's going to play out. We need a sell signal. If we don't get that sell signal, then it's probably not going to drop, because this can easily just swing back up and close above here. And then instead of that, we can take this buy here. So if you want to go back and rewatch my analysis from this, then you can go back and then you can just rewatch it, because I analyzed this like about an hour ago. So there's two scenarios that can play out. It either drops from this point or it swings back up here and closes above here, then provides for a buy. So two different scenarios that can play out, but you have to wait for that confirmation. So if anything, a trade, you could ask me for another analysis tomorrow. We'll see how it plays out, but I'll leave this as it is here, and we'll see how it plays out from that point. But like I mentioned, it can go two ways. It can either go up or it can go down, but it's just in a range right now. That's why we're waiting for price to break above this structure or below this structure right here. Yeah, definitely, Hugo. All right, cool. So it looks like CJ scalped NASDAQ for 80 bucks. So let's see. Yeah, so it looks like he probably took a small scalp off this, CJ, unless you caught one down here. I don't know where you guys got that zone from. I had a zone there earlier. I'm not sure if we got it on the short time frame. Oh yeah, because it was on the 5 minute right here. So if you guys are trading on the 5 minute, there's actually some entries that were available here. So on the 10 minute, there's nothing on there, but on the 5 minute over here, there was a couple entries off this point. So there was a rejection off that point for this green and this green candle. So if you took either of those trades right there, that would hit your full TP right there, and that would hit your full TP right there as well. So yeah, depending on what you guys were looking at, that could have been it. Jay said, holy crap, US 30 flying. Damn, bro, it played out like how we thought, huh, Jay? Because if you guys are watching me and Jay's analysis earlier, we mentioned that price was probably going to come back, reject off this point, and just shoot. And that's exactly what happened. I think Jay's his zone was like a little farther down. His zone was down here. So he had a lower zone at 32,780 right here. But my zone was right here. So it actually rejected perfectly off that zone. Oh, gotcha, CJ. Yeah, so CJ took these sells here off the NASDAQ on this 5 minute. So he locked in some nice profit off that. He identified the rejection, took that trade, straight winner. All right, let me scroll up real quick, see if I missed anything over here. Roland said, I have a 200K too. Do you use 5 lots for scalps now on 200K? Yeah, I do, Roland. That's what I use. So for our scalps here on US 30, we go for about 500 pips, right? So Roland, here's the breakdown for you right here. So if we're doing 500 pips, we're taking a 5 lot. So 5 times 500, we're making and risking about 2,500 per trade, which is fine because the max loss for our account on 200K is 10,000 for the day, right? So you divide that by 2,500. We got 4 opportunities, and we're probably not going to lose 4 back to back, right? So, with that said, this is a good lot size to use overall, just to use proper risk, not to overdo it and not to underdo it either. Okay, said you have a personal account besides FTMO? Yeah, I do. I have multiple accounts. So I have my my personal Hugo's Way account as well, where I take a smaller lot size, and that's just I don't touch that account at all. I just trade on it, and then when it goes over a certain amount, whenever it goes over 1,000, I withdraw, and then I just keep doing that because I don't like leaving too much money in my my personal account, especially not on Hugo's Way. See, yeah, nice. So Jay said, yep, I caught some of it, but not much of it. Either way, I'm up 540 for the week on a 5K account. Nice, Jay. Congrats, bro. It's nice work. Jay said, how many FTMO accounts can you have, or is there a max capital in total? So the max capital right now, Jay, for FTMO is 400K. So that's you could either do 200K accounts, or you can do 4 100K accounts, and then you can just merge those at one point. And yeah, that's pretty much the max capital right now. I think they're going to increase it because they need to compete with these other funding companies, which is perfect. And it just keeps in with FTMO, right? I've been with FTMO since last May. So they've been good to me. They pay me out on time every month when I do my withdrawals or my payouts. And, there's nothing wrong with it. They're the most established funding company out right now currently, I think, for what we trade. And that's why I trust them and I continue to stay with them, even though there's all these other companies that have been, coming out lately. All right, cool. So it's about 9:18. So I'll probably be on for like another 30 minutes or so, guys. So if you guys have questions, feel free to reach out right now, put them in the chat. I can analyze whatever you guys want at this time. because I'm not necessarily going to be trading that heavily right now. All right, cool. Let me check the Hey Julio, how's it going, bro? I just saw your message in the Zoom. Let me update your account real quick. I'll just do it manually. So yeah, if you guys send me an email overnight, or let me see, I think you sent that during the live session because I've been live since 6. So I probably didn't get your email yet, but Julio, I'm updating yours right now. So you should be good to go. Just give me a few seconds. All right, Julio, you should be good. So just log out of your trading view, log back in, and then you'll have access to the K2 indicators. Just look under indicators right here, and then go to invite only scripts, and then you'll see the K2 indicators right there. All the indicators by K2 trades. So that's where you'll find the indicators right there. So let me see if there's anything else before we continue on real quick. John said, can you go over your theory for liquidity and stop loss hunting? Let's see. Yeah, sure. So I'll show you what I'm talking about, what I refer to when I talk about that. So here's what I was talking about the whole, I mean, if you guys have been following my analysis for US 30 for the past 2 weeks, they've just been, it's been going opposite of sentiment. So this is, I mean, I'll try to explain it as much as I can here, Gerald, but this is something that kind of needs to be analyzed like real time, like when it's actually moving, because it's not really going to be easier for us to, so I'll go back to a certain time period. Let's see. So time period, which was like right here. I think this was last week, right? So like last week over here, this is my theory of, I mean, it's not really a theory. It's just, analyzing price action. So like basically right here, this is where the all-time high is, right? So basically the way that I saw this last week, this was on the 12th. So if you guys have seen my chart from last week, this is how I analyze this and how I trade against retail traders. So basically what I see here is people are going to have their sell limits around this area right here, right? Because they think this is the all-time high. They're like, oh, it's all-time high. It has to go up higher and higher, right? So what I do is I reverse engineer what people are thinking. If people are thinking for a sell, I think for it in the opposite. I get into their head and I'm like, all right, if they're going to enter this trade, then their stop loss is going to be at whole numbers at 500 pips, right? 500 pips, 1,000 pips. And like what I'm trying to explain to you here is, it might make sense to you, it might not, but you have to like actually know like what I'm doing here. Because what I'm doing here is I'm marking up where people's stop losses are. And that's where the liquidity is usually sitting, because if there's a lot of stop losses in that area, John, looks like you're drawing all over my screen. Let me turn it off. All right, let me delete that. All right, so guys, try not to draw on the screen because I'm trying to explain to you guys what's going on here. So we got that right there. And then this is basically my thought process when I'm identifying where the stop loss hunts are going to happen. So like with that said right there, this is where people have their stop losses, right? The whole numbers. So when price reaches a certain point, so when price breaks this point right here, there's an area of liquidity there. So as price reaches this point here, it's going to push up to the next area of liquidity, which should be up here, right? So you just look at price, how it's moving. Price comes back down, comes back up. And as soon as it comes back up, We wait for it to reach this area right here, right? It's getting close to this area. When it reaches this area, it's going to hit liquidity, right? It hits liquidity right there. It breaks above it and closes. That's where it hits liquidity because this is where everyone's stop losses are. As soon as that happens, it probably pushes up to the next area up there, right? Hits liquidity again, and it just keeps pushing up higher and higher. So John, this is something that you like, I mean, it looks easy here, but you have to see me do it live. Like if you go back and watch all of my live sessions from like last week, just go back and watch every live session last week, John. You'll see how I explained it real time because I was analyzing it as it was happening. It's harder for me to show you when it's like not real time because we look at different things. We look at market sentiment. We see where everyone's trading. If people are entering shorts, then we're going to go for longs, right? So we do the opposite of what the retail traders are doing. So go back and watch every session from last week, John, and then you'll see what I mean by that. But this is basically how I was able to identify these areas of liquidity here. And they're areas of liquidity because this is where people put their stop losses. If people have their stop losses here, when they get stopped out, those flip over to buys, right? And that's why price pushes up, stops everyone out here, pushes up, stops people out here, pushes it up again. So that's how that works, John. But you would have to go and rewatch like my whole analysis last week to really understand like what I mean by that. Because if you don't know what I'm talking about, you're probably confused right now. And you probably would have to go back and watch how I analyzed everything from scratch to see what I was looking at that time. So, all right, going back to the questions over here. Let's see what else we've got. Jay's asking, you can merge it, like you can have a max loss of 40K. Yeah, exactly, Jay. So once you merge them together, your max loss increases as well. Let me just go back over here real quick. Go back on this 10-minute. All right. Okay, so what are your personal goals regards to trading for the next years? I mean, I don't know, just getting better at trading, I guess. So Okay's question is asking, what are your personal goals in regards to trading for the next years? I mean, I'm just gonna, like what I'm doing works here, obviously, right? Okay, so like it's just a rinse and repeat of the same thing. There's no, like, it's like that one saying goes, like, don't fix something that's not broken, right? There's really no point in me changing anything if it works. If the market changes, then I can make changes and, adapt to the new market. But I mean, personal goals in the next years of trading is, I mean, trading doesn't change. If you're trading long-term, you just keep trading, right? There's no real goals. I mean, there's going to be monetary goals. Obviously, I'm already hitting those monetary goals every month. So it's just it's a growing process. There's nothing really specific that I'm really reaching for with regard to trading. It's just, the same rinse and repeat process and, increase my lot size and just keep making more and more money over time. But other than that, I mean, with trading goals, there isn't really much to really work towards, like, because you're asking me personal goals, right? You're not asking me from K2's perspective. K2 is different. Like if you're asking for my personal goals, I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing. But obviously my goals are going to align with K2's goals long-term, where we'll probably start a prop firm. I think that's the main goal for K2, because you guys can see here, like we all apply the same strategy here and you guys have seen everyone's profits, right? So it would make no sense for me not to create my own prop firm. If I create my own prop firm, I'll keep this strategy within K2. So only people within K2 can use this strategy. And you guys can see everyone's profits here, right? Lee's locking in $300. Index trader here is locking $10,000 for the week. Lee over here, some more profits. Steven, $300. Like if I just teach everyone how to trade how I trade and they trade my capital and I create a prop firm within K2, then I won't have to trade anymore because everyone's doing what I'm doing already anyways. So I give people capital to trade, like Henry over here made 4,000 yesterday. Harmony over here made 1,200. Like almost everyone made at least 1,000 yesterday, just copying my trades during my live session, right? Luke over here made 600. So like long-term goals for K2, not my personal goals, obviously, but long-term goals for us as a whole is probably create a prop firm and just, mentor people to learn to do these strategies because everyone's already doing it themselves. Like obviously you can see here, everyone is doing it and everyone's killing it right here. Salim's making 754. Like if you're not making profits with K2, you're probably doing something wrong. Because if everyone, like literally there's so many people here. Like if I go back to any date, like this is today, right? If I go back to March 1st. Look what Cheryl made. 2,000, 3,000, 4,000, about 5,000 total right here, right? I could go to any date here. February 18. How much did Henry make? You know, $100 off there. Almost $1,000 total because he made 800 off there, 800 off that account, and another $100 off that. You know, Cheryl over here making $500. So that's probably going to be the next goal for K2. It's going to be creating a prop firm within K2. It's not going to be like FTMO though. Like I'm not going to just let anyone join. Like you guys have to be vetted. You guys have to know what you're doing. You have to learn how to follow directions. And you guys are going to have a better split. You know, FTMO has like an 80-20 split. I'll probably give you guys a 90-10 split. Because the thing is, I know that what you guys are applying works. So as long as you guys follow directions and you guys can trade, you know, how I trade, like everybody, then we all make money off it, right? You guys make money trading your own, like trading my money, and then I take a percentage of it. So we all win there. And I don't have to actually be on these live sessions trading with you guys every day because I'll be teaching you guys how to do it one-on-one. So those are long-term goals for K2. And those align with my personal goals as well. Because obviously what we have here works. I trade live every day. You can watch any live session for the past like 2 to 4 months. And I do the same thing every day and it works. So that's probably going to be the next goal for us here at K2. Just create the prop firm within K2, make sure everyone over here stacks up, and you know, it's a win-win for all of us. It's a win-win for me. It's a win-win for K2. It's a win-win for whoever is within K2. Right. So next question for that is going to be Vedat's asking, is FTMO free money? You just trade on behalf of them? Yeah, pretty much. Vedat, you have to pay a challenge fee because you know, they don't just let anyone do it. You pay a challenge fee, and then you prove to them that you can trade. And once you prove to them you can trade, they give you a funded account, and then you keep 70% of the profits at the end of the month. So that's pretty much how it is. But the thing with FTMO is that they let anyone do it, right? Because they know they know that there's only certain people that are good at trading. They let everyone join in. For me, if I start a K2 prop firm, I'm not letting everyone join in. Like you have to prove to me that you can trade and that you can follow directions, because I'm giving you my money to trade. And like, I don't want people that are going to be trading for me and they suck at trading, right? I want people that can follow directions and make profit with all of us together. So that's the difference. Let's see. All right. K2 came back down to the pivot. Oh man, it's getting too close. I was thinking maybe a buy entry right here, but it's getting too close to the Fed in the next, I guess, 30 minutes to an hour from now. Let's see. Jeff's asking, would it be fair to say you're a breakout trader up or down? Not really, Jeff. I'm more so a momentum trader. I mean, I guess, yeah, momentum and breakout kind of ties in with each other, but I wouldn't necessarily say I'm looking for breakouts, because like when we're taking trades, like for example, for our scalps here, we're not catching breakouts. We're just catching momentum swings, right? We see momentum reject off the structure. We take a sell. So it's not necessarily a breakout, because a breakout happens after. We catch the breakout before, like we get into the position before the breakout happens. So, I mean, I guess you can classify it as a breakout trader, but not necessarily, because like this is only like 500 pips. I wouldn't consider this a huge breakout, right? A huge breakout would be something like this, like 1,000 pip move. And I'd probably be on the higher time frames, because we're not going for those home run hits, Jeff. We're going for the profits in between, because you know, you don't have to get greedy in this game. Honestly, if you can lock in a couple of scalps, like I consider myself a scalper. I don't consider myself a breakout trader. More so a scalper. Like for example, here, you know, we have the rejection off that point. I guess you could consider this a breakout, but I'm not looking for the breakout. I'm just looking for my TP to get hit. Like my TP would be right here. Even though even though like price drops even further, I'm not getting greedy right here. I'm just taking my profit right there. I'm waiting for the next one right here, rejection off the pivot structure. And then I double up my position right there. Instead of making 500 pips, I'm making 1,000 pips, right? So yeah, Jeff, I guess you can classify me as a breakout trader, but I would necessarily like gravitate more towards scalper, not necessarily breakouts, because I'm not looking for breakouts. I'm just looking for rejections in price, and I'm catching momentum swings in that direction, but not necessarily like a huge breakout. Because I know sometimes you'll see people where they'll catch like the really big breakouts, like right here, right? they'll catch it as it comes down, and then they'll just catch that breakout upwards. But for me, I'm just trying to catch where I can make my money, you know, in between moves. But yeah, all right. So I think that's about it, guys. So I don't see any other questions. I'm going to go through the Forex pairs real quick, see if there's any entries. Actually, we're not going to take any Forex pairs or Forex trades because it's the news is coming up soon. So yeah, guys, I think that's it for the questions. If you guys have any other questions, I'll stay on for a few more minutes. Otherwise, I'm going to log off for the day, and then I'll be back live later tonight for the live session with Joey, Kyle, and Billy later on tonight. Jeff said, thanks. Pips is a strange term for index traders. So pips just means percentage in points. Jeff, I'm sure you know that, right? Pips is just percentage in points. So like, for example, a pip is just like 1 point is like equivalent to like 10 pips because it's a percentage of it, right? So yeah, in the futures market, you use points. Like for example, here, like this right here, this is 19 points, right? For pips, you just add on another 0. It's 190 pips. So I know it's kind of a weird term, but if you just put 2 and 2 together, like this would be 20 points right here. For you, it'd be, I guess, 20 points or handles, like you mentioned. For us, it would just be 200 pips, and it's not a big difference. It's just the translation between, futures, because you trade contracts and we trade unit sizes, which should be in pips, or it would be, quantity. So little difference between the two, but not really that much of a difference. You just add a 0 to your points. Yeah, exactly. It's more used in Forex because, if you're buying a currency, you just buy percentage of it. It's kind of like buying percentage in stocks as well. It's not necessarily buying the full stock, but buying a little percentage of it. Neptune's asking, what time will you be on later? So I think my session with Jeff, Joey, and Kyle, or no, with Joey, Kyle, and Billy is probably going to be at about 4 p.m. my time. So let's see, it's 9 o'clock right now. So 4 p.m. Pacific time, which would be in about 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, in about 7 hours. So in about 7 hours, I'll probably be live for our evening session, where I'll probably take some scalps there too. But the market is slow during that time, so we're probably not going to be on for that long. But I'll probably hop on just to hang out with those guys and probably go over some trades if possible. But all right, so yeah, guys, that's about it for today. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the session. Hopefully you guys caught that first scalp this morning. So here are my profits for today, just one trade. So it's all quality over quantity, guys. It's like, literally I just took one trade today, but I'm up like 1,200 or 1,300 almost. And then on top of that, I have my other, let me see if I have my other accounts too. I'll just send my profits real quick to you guys, because I know everyone's always like, oh, Shawn doesn't even take the trades. Like, all right, bro. Let me just show you real quick. So I got this one right here. Yeah, I only took 2 trades today, guys. I didn't take much for the day so far. All right. So I'll show you guys my profits here for all 3 of my accounts. My funded account, my challenge account for the 200K, and then also my personal Hugo's Way account as well. All right, so here are my profits for the day. All right, so here are my profits for today. This is my 200K account where I took the 5 lot. I made 1,292 off that. My funded account right here for the 100K, I made about 605 off that. And then my personal account right here on Hugo's Way, I made 46 bucks. So you guys can see here that, there's a lot that you guys can, like, if you have multiple accounts, this stuff adds up. So let me just add this up right here. 127605 plus my other account right here, 605, plus my other account over here for my personal 4606. Oops. So for today total, I made about like almost 2,000, which is not bad. It's just one trade that we took this morning, but no losses. So we did pretty good so far. Let me just put a message on here real quick. Profits today. Scalps. Damn, it seems like every time someone tries to join the room, it freezes. All right. To sit out the market during FOMC. Damn it. Everyone tries to enter the room super late. Going to sit out the market during FOMC and look for more entries during Asia session. All right, let's update that real quick. All right, guys, so let me just send this over. I'm going to forward this over to you guys. Groups real quick. So there we go off that. All right, so those are my profits for the day, guys. I mean, it's not spectacular profits, but I mean, profit's profit. Like, I'm not complaining over making this much for today. No, it's like more than a lot of people make like in one paycheck. So, you know, profit's profit, guys. Don't ever get like greedy, right? Especially right now. I know a lot of you guys are like itching to take some trades. For me, I'm cool. I'm gonna go to the gym, enjoy these profits for the day, come back for Asia session, and then make some more later on. But yeah, for right now, that's what we made on the live session today. Wasn't that bad. It was pretty decent overall. So I think that's about CJ said on the momentum indicator, how do you remove the pivot looking line? So CJ, go over here to the, sorry, let me pull that up for you real quick. So you're talking about the momentum indicator right here. Yeah, so just click on this button right here, CJ. Go right here where these last three plots, and then you can take those off. So just take off those three, click OK, and then they're not on the chart anymore for that momentum indicator. I know they get in the way, right? So just click on those and then it'll take them off for you. Nice. Sam said UK 100 scalp about to hit full TP. So let me just pull that up real quick. Oh, nice. Okay, Sam. Yeah. So for you guys that took that UK 100 trade, this is the one that you were talking about earlier, Jasmine, but I know we were being careful, so we didn't take it. But if you guys did take it, like I think Sam did, I know Sam likes to take these UK 100 trades. It looks like it's about to hit full TP off that. So nice work off that, guys. If you guys did take it. And then one last question from Jay. Jay's asking, how much would you keep max in an offshore? I usually only keep 1,000 in the account, Jay, like 1,000 max, or maybe like 1,000 to 2,000. That's why my profits here for this one is like for my personal account right here. This is my Hugo's Way account. I only keep like 1,000 in there, so I can't really take huge lot sizes. And like I mentioned, this is like a whatever account. It's not like I don't take it seriously because, you know, comparing this profit to like this profit here, like, bro, it makes no sense. Like a lot of people complain. They're like, oh, if you have a real account, I mean, if you're like so good, why don't you just use your own money? It's like, bro, why would you use your own money when you can use other people's money? Like there's no risk involved. Like right here for this one trade I took today, 1,292.50. So this is how much I made total, right? I keep 70% of that. So, you know, times 70, I still made 904 off that trade, and I didn't have to risk any of my own money. So that's why I still trade my personal. Like I make this personal, and then this is my funded account as well. And then the other account over here. So, I mean, so if I add both of these together, right? So say, for example, you have multiple FTMOs, 1,292.50 plus 605, that's 1,897 in total, times 70%. My take home for today is still 1,300. Like I can't complain about making 1,300 and not risking any of my own money. So I know some people feel some type of way about about funding companies, but I mean, it's been good to me so far. So I'm not really complaining about it at all. So other than that, I think that's it, guys. So I think that's it for today's session. I'll probably be back a little later. If you guys haven't already, if you guys can like the stream on your way out, follow the, so if you guys want to sit in on my live session later in the afternoon, you guys have to like this stream and then follow the YouTube channel and turn on notifications so that YouTube knows that you want to watch my videos. If you don't let them know, they're not going to send you an email, indicating like, hey, Shawn's going live right now, because I don't send that link out all the time. So if you guys want to sit in on the live session and during Asia's session, just make sure to like the video, follow the YouTube channel, and turn on your notifications so that YouTube knows that you want to watch my videos. And if you don't want to watch my videos and you don't want to make profits with us no more, go ahead and hit the dislike button, because we don't need you here anyways. So other than that, guys, I'll catch you guys later, and I'll be back in about 7 hours for the Asia session. So catch you guys in a few hours, and enjoy the rest of your day, guys. Don't take any bad trades during FOMC, because the market's going to get crazy in about an hour and a half.